It is January 13th. This is GameEnthus Podcast episode 443, our video game of the year episode. That won't be the actual title, but here we are. Anyway, my name is Aaron. I'm one of the hosts here. Tiny is also here. Or your full government name is up here now. I don't know if you want that or not, but, and your address, just saying.
Also just to specify, this is our 2021 Game of the Year.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
If we wanted to put a date on it.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, what are we going to do? Say what's the best game that's been released so far in 2022?
Or
I would do that.
I don't know, 27 or 2007. I am. Why is it?
I could have better arguments probably for games that there was a better chance that I played than stuff that came out this past year.
Mike is also here.
Yes. Hello.
All right. So, yes, thank you for that specificity because it is necessary. Yes, the video games of 2021. That's what we're here to discuss. Before we get
none other. We're not talking, not a word about anything that was released any years prior to that or since January 1st of this year. Definitely not going to mention them in any way.
Guys, I'm just going to.
I didn't sign up for any of
that. We host a game podcast and whatnot, and I don't feel
Are
like
you
I
sure?
played a lot of games in 2021.
I didn't either. I don't. What was I doing?
Maybe I was gamed out from 2020.
Maybe you just, I kind of feel like I play a lot of comfort stuff.
Yes, when we get to older game of the year or whatever, I had a decent list.
Oh, honestly, my list is kind of full of games that weren't really the best games, but they held my attention and I needed them at the time.
This isn't a list of the best games. This is just a list of the games. These are the games.
It's a list of things that happened. I don't know.
These are titles, and they are in a list.
And they are on a list.
Just kicking this off
real well. All right, Mike,
set expectations accordingly.
Mike, let's start off with you. Just some brief anecdotes and whatnot. What have you been up to?
Oh, I didn't write anything down for this, but it's been a while since we did the last show.
It has been a while.
As far as I know, I have not contracted any COVID, but almost every day I'm hearing a new story about, so-and-so's got it. Yep, so-and-so. Nope. I'm like,
it's a thing.
All right. Definitely made the right call of not going to MAGfest.
It was hurting not to go, but it was the right call.
Yes.
It was bothering me not to go, man. Oh. But it was the right decision to make.
Yeah. It was the right decision. But we watched a lot of it on Twitch.
I didn't watch any of it because that just would have made it worse for me. But yeah. But
I theoretically would have liked to, but I was busy. Each of the days I had get-togethers with my family, with the in-laws, it was a busy time. I tried to kind of keep up.
So popular.
I had stuff to do.
Yeah. Oh no, I had to see blood-related people.
I had events involving cranberry sauce and gravy. I don't know. Did you have cranberry sauce and gravy at any of those events?
No.
Okay. I got nothing.
Food. Had Reuben sandwiches the one day.
Those are good.
Had pizza the one day.
Okay, I've had that once or twice, but in my life, yeah.
And then some heated up, hors d'oeuvre things.
Okay.
Anyway, so that's just not really much. I've been tinkering with things at home. It's a slower than average time of year for me at work, so I'm making some me time here and there when I can.
That's important to do.
Gotcha. Good.
Yeah, and again, trying to stay away. I mean, being all boosted up and all that stuff. Maybe I got it, didn't know it, got rid of it, and moved on with my life. Who knows? But
as far as you did.
As far as I know, the only test that I've had in the last whatever, it was one of those rapid tests, which was negative, but. As I'm hearing more and more, they're basically worthless as for detecting Omicron. So I don't put any stock in it at all. But I mean, it's better than if it said it was positive. I would have felt pretty crappy if it did. So I've been like, well, I'm going home now. And I think everyone else should as well. So
as fast as you can. Okay.
But yeah, anyway, that's and watching stuff. I guess I didn't quite finish the third episode of not Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, I didn't either. I didn't watch that.
It started off decent. I think at least most of what I've seen this third episode, which I only have 5 minutes to go, is not great. But I don't hate it. It's fine.
Okay.
I'll definitely keep watching. I mean, even if it's boring, I'll still watch it because it's on, and I want to know.
Do you think if you had seen these episodes prior to The Mandalorian, you'd feel differently, or you think you'd feel this? I know it's hard to answer.
Yeah,
that.
probably. I think I would probably find it even more boring than I have. I feel like the connection.
So it will be worse for you if you had not seen The Mandalorian.
The fact that they established the characters in the season 2 of Mandalorian, and there's sort of a connection. I know there is, and it's like, yeah, okay. There's. It's like I know it's connected to other stuff that I already thought was interesting. So it's like, even if there's moments of I'm not really sure where this is going, it's like, well, eventually, somehow, at least the flashback parts are gonna get to where, he's looking for his armor and stuff, which is how it came together.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's things I'm anticipating, but I don't know where it's going. I don't see a clear path for where the storyline's going.
They can kind of do whatever they want. I mean, that's what I kind of like about it.
It seems like I haven't watched the third episode, but it seems like he has to come in conflict with the Mandalorian. Like that seems like how this has to go.
Does it? Why?
I didn't think that, but if it happens, at least that's got to be interesting.
Because I think as Boba Fett has to more become the criminal.
I'm not. I see what you mean. I'm not getting. I'm at least so far. I'm not getting that.
What would make the Mandalorian even why? They already.
If he goes after Grogu.
Why would he though?
I don't think Boba Fett is going.
Why would he do that?
We'll see. We'll see.
That's true.
That seems to me that would be a mistake. I can't.
Nothing, but I think bringing them into conflict sets you up for the next season of The Mandalorian, makes this relevant, and lets you connect. Because otherwise, I'm enjoying it, but at the end of the day. Like the Skywalker trilogy or whatever 9-ology is done. So why are we going to see Boba Fett?
I don't know. It's like the first time that they're doing things in Star Wars that are being made at around the same time that are also happening at the same time.
Right.
So it's kind of I don't know. Of course they're gonna fist bump eventually, or
also
strike.
Joker didn't show up in any of the later material because this is supposed to be right after, or relatively close after.
See, I'm with James in the chat. He says, "John,
Return of the Jedi."
John
Favreau.
I don't know why I said I'm looking at Favreau. This is far. I'm like something missing. Yeah, John Favreau has not led me astray yet. Too far astray yet. He's been very
Hogan
consistent.
Happy Hogan is doing
his best work. He is. I gotta say.
Yeah. So anyway,
who knew that Gutter from PCU would have done all this stuff? I like that movie. Anyway.
And I just mentioned it because it's something, but it's whatever, doing my thing. So, who wants to? Aaron, you want to talk next?
Since you brought that up, I'm gonna do a parallel, and it also covers something that's on both me and Aaron's list.
Okay.
So the rumor that Jon Favreau did that Chef movie in response to Marvel shutting down his ideas for Iron Man 3.
Chef.
He made a
Which
chef movie.
He made the was it Cook or? It's the one where he is a Michelin star and restaurant or chef, and then he goes and makes a food truck.
I believe I'm learning about this movie.
Yeah, I'm learning about this in real time. This is not anything I know about.
One sec, I'm gonna have the name for it.
Somebody in chat said
Chef.
It's called Chef.
It's called Chef. That's what I thought.
Imagine that. It's called Chef. Okay.
Right. So
thank you, Twin Flower.
That movie is supposed to be, if you follow it, how he gets like praised and then shut down and all this stuff. He wrote it, and
it's an allegory for how they treated him. Is that
with what happened with him?
Well, Iron Man 3 was trash, so
but he didn't do Iron Man 3.
No, he did not.
He did Iron Man 1 and 2 anyway. So there's that, and I think there's the same parallel to what happened with the Matrix.
And it says Robert Downey Jr.'s in it.
He is,
and Scarlett Johansson.
He makes them. They both make appearances. Yes, but so Chef is supposed to be that. I watched the new Matrix movie, Matrix Revelations?
Okay.
And
Resurrection.
That movie, or Resurrection? Is it Resurrection?
Yeah, they're all like forgettable R words after the first one.
Yeah, the first movie.
Is Reloaded. At least that makes sense to me. But anyway, that movie shares a lot of parallels because, and I was listening to, I think, Nextlander that talked about this. Apparently, the Wachowski that was involved with this.
It was Lana. I think
I thought it was
that sounds right.
I think Lily was like, "Yeah, I'm good."
Right, but she was told Warner Brothers is going to make this movie whether you're on it or not. So you should come. Like she's like, "Oh, at least I can maintain some level to be on." And like the first 20 minutes of that movie says that out loud.
And they lost me. They lost me at that. I was like, "Oh, this doesn't need to exist." I believe you. And I tuned out.
Well, yeah, but them saying it is entertaining enough for me to go, that's funny. I don't need to watch the rest of it, but I did like that.
Yeah.
Like yes, James. The background of Chef is Jon Favreau wrote that as a response to what happened to him on Iron Man between Iron Man 2 and 3. And like if you watch it, you could see like how he was dealing with his feelings of how they treated him. And whatnot.
Iron Man 2 was not like the best movie.
Iron Man 2 had some fun points.
No, I like 2 better than 3, even though 2 was not good, but 2 was not like great.
But also remember they took Iron Man 3 away from Jon Favreau, and gave it to one of the guys from Predator, right?
Yeah,
gave it to Shane Black. So, but anyway, in the Matrix, like they're having that board game discussion or the board meeting discussion about the game, and like, oh, Warner Brothers is making us make this and whatnot. It's just like, this is a real like middle finger to everyone that made.
But somebody signed off and said, "Okay, we'll release that."
Oh yeah,
so that I'm cool with that too.
So, because again, they also did the exact same thing they did with like Space Jam, where it's like, oh, we're going to introduce a new character, and we're going to make sure that new character references some of our IP.
I'm not paying.
I haven't seen.
I will never watch that movie.
Yeah, the wife and kids said they started it and were like, we're not going to finish this. So,
if you want Twin Flowers, if you want to see a good like breakdown that shows it, Mr. Sunday Movies does I think it's a Caravan of Garbage is a
Caravan of Garbage. That's a name right there.
That's a name, and he goes over Chef and the parallels. But anyway, so the Matrix 4, I didn't enjoy it. Like I have friends that did.
Yeah, the more I talked, some people really thought it was like clever, and they thought the meta stuff was clever. I felt the opposite. I thought it was awful.
I guess that was the idea that was brought to the table. It's just like, well, we got nothing. What do you got? Can we just talk about ourselves for like 2.5 hours?
What if we rebuilt Neo and Trinity together, and that's why they now share the oneness? They are the two-ness.
What if we show lots
the lore
of clips
expansions were good ideas on paper. The execution is where they lost me. Like I'm fine with Trinity being as powerful. Like that's great.
Oh sure.
The execution was like, why did you do it this way? Like
they could have just had her be the main character.
That would have been better.
Merovingian just randomly show up for
like unshaven and like what?
Right.
Oh, who was that? I didn't even know who that guy was.
That's part of the problem.
Merovingian from the second and third movie. He's one of the leftover characters from a previous version of the Matrix. Where
I don't remember any of this stuff, and I'm not watching those movies.
And the problem is, it started. I noticed this because my wife and I had watched the first 3. We watched 4 movies in one day. We watched the first 3 and then watched the last one, and that's why I felt even worse.
Oh my god, that's got to be the worst way to watch.
It really was. It really was.
I'm shocked you didn't like spin up a server, so it'd be like, we need to play the Matrix Online now for at least 100 hours.
Oh yeah, and get the Animatrix and Enter the Matrix in there, so like, you get all the nuggets.
I didn't even understand like the blurring of lines. Even like during the second movie, I was kind of like, they started blurring the lines between like an AI and people. Right. So I'm thinking like, well, these are all. Okay, if this person is software, why are they do like? It just didn't make sense. And then the whole Morpheus thing of like, why is that Morpheus? Like, just so many things of just
because Morpheus was the Matrix Online, and we're going to keep that canon.
Supposedly, Lawrence Fishburne was like down to come back, and they were like, "Nah, we're good. We have an idea." Like, so we could spend like an hour about how bad that was. But anyway, there were nuggets of things that would have been good. That I get, but they just I don't know why they did what they did. So
okay, well, Aaron, what else have you been up to?
I'm like, I think you mentioned a couple weeks ago. I saw, wife was like, let's watch I have a family movie night. So let's watch 8-Bit Christmas, and the eye rolling was audible, and
before the movie started,
it was like, it was like, we don't want to watch this. 90 minutes later, this should be our new Christmas movie. I was like, see, I told you, I told all of you.
Even though you hadn't seen it, you had no idea.
I really liked it. I thought, and I liked how the emphasis of what the movie was really about sort of like changed towards the end. I thought it was very endearing. I really liked it.
Oh yeah, I mean the ending was nice.
Just to be clear, 8-Bit Christmas is a movie on HBO starring Neil Patrick Harris, if I remember correctly.
That's a much better Neil Patrick Harris vehicle than The Matrix. Also, I hated Agent Smith. He was awful. I like Neil Patrick Harris. He was awful though. But anyway. Yes, 8-Bit Christmas was good to me. I really enjoyed it.
So. And what is 8-Bit Christmas about?
Like, it focuses on. Oh, thank you. Yeah, sorry. It focuses on Neil Patrick Harris telling his daughter about his childhood and how Nintendo was how he and his friends really wanted Nintendo for Christmas, and just him reminiscing about when he was a kid and what was important to him, and it was well done. There was some interesting things where like they would have gameplay of like they had like Paperboy and real games in it, and then they like one scene in order to show people doing something that was competitive, they had like a completely fictitious game that could have never run on a Nintendo. And I was kind of like,
see, that really took me out.
Why did you do? You could have picked a real game. But
the problem the problem is twofold. One, obviously that's not a Nintendo game. It's not even. It's not even a fake Nintendo game. It doesn't even look like a Nintendo game.
Not at all.
But it's not even trying to be a Nintendo game. It's a one-on-one fighter, which was a concept which pretty much didn't even exist in that year, for the most part.
Double Dragon had that 1v1 mode, right?
It did.
Did it?
Yeah.
On the NES?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I knew you couldn't do the 2-player in the regular game.
No, but
it's not what is known today as a fighter.
No,
I mean that really wasn't like a thing. That was not in the zeitgeist of the allure of the Nintendo. It had nothing to do with that.
But I get it though. I get why they made the decision. Was they wanted something that showcased, two competitors where one obviously loses, and I get why they did that. So it didn't take. I mean, I did pause it and let everybody know, and I had to be that that guy.
This is stupid, right? Okay,
that could not run on an 8-bit system, and they're all looking at me like, just.
But it's not just.
It could never have handled that many sprites at once.
Exactly.
Like one of those sprites.
There's no mapper alive that could.
Yeah, and that's why I say it's twofold, because that's really just one of the two things. Like in that scene in Back to the Future 2 where he plays Wild Gunman, the actual gameplay is not the real Wild Gunman game, but it's also not something that was like completely foreign to the idea of what the game was. Whereas I was more hung up on the fact that it was like they're playing a one-on-one fighter in an era where that wasn't a thing. Like that bothered me more than what it looked like.
Oh, well, I didn't let it bother me. I get what they did in service of the story, so it was fine to me. I don't know. I'm sorry I took you out.
That's fine.
It's still worth watching, though. I think. I'll try to be brief here. I didn't know Typing of the Dead was an arcade game. I learned that this morning.
You know why you didn't know that? Because it never came out in the U.S.
I was going to say
that's true.
Can you guess why it never came out in the U.S.?
Because a lot of arcade games didn't come out in the U.S.
Because it would be broken the day it was put up in a Dave & Buster's if it was put out in the U.S. No matter when. It would be, someone would spill a beer all over it, or a soda, or the kids would smash.
I didn't even look at it that way.
It would be destroyed within seconds. Remember how all of the memory card readers for every arcade game that did it, whether it was an N64 memory card or a Neo Geo memory, there was always bubble gum or something shoved in there. No respect. In Japan, they can do it.
That is true.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, we don't really care about things, do we?
Also, no one wants to play a typing
game in an arcade.
Yeah, arcade. That's an aside. What I said is more important.
100% played a typing game in the arcade. So.
Oh, you would?
You would.
Would is a different thing than did.
I mean, I also bought it for the Dreamcast, so.
So did I. I've never opened it, but I did buy it.
I have played, and I also bought it on PC.
I have it on Steam, and then I have obviously the Overkill version, which is, they're all insane. The fact that game exists is just, it's insane to me. The fact that it's a game at all, it's just kind of blows my mind.
It's cool.
Venom 2, I saw that. That was awful.
That movie looked very bad.
It was bad. I feel like that whole franchise existed. I don't want to spoil anything, but I feel like that it existed for in service of another movie entirely. But that's another. It's not good. And we watched, because my 12-year-old had not seen the first Venom, not the whole thing. So we watched that first, and then watched the second one, and I was kind of like, that made the first one seem better.
So much better.
And the first one is not good. So yeah.
See, it was just stuff I don't need to watch. You're
really
saving me so many hours of my life.
You're welcome.
This is almost therapy.
Almost, we're close. Almost.
Is this what therapy's like? Great.
No, not at all.
Is this therapy?
I'm doing a lot more listening than would be if this was therapy.
Yeah, that's it for me. I was just gonna mention I love Spider-Man No Way Home, and it is proof that you can have a plot that makes really no sense, character motivations that make no logical sense, but if you get the fan service right and the nostalgia right, it doesn't even matter. It's proof.
That's true. That is pretty true.
That does sound like a little bit of Star Wars when it isn't horrifyingly bad.
But the nostalgia and fan service was so good.
Okay.
It just overshadowed
someday,
all the mistakes.
I will watch that movie someday, eventually, in a scenario that I haven't figured out yet.
Oh, James
I'm not going to the theater.
James says in the chat that the first Venom, it was kind of like the first time I saw it in the theater, I walked out thinking that was not the worst thing I've ever seen. It was watching it a second time and seeing
strong opinions being expressed here on the GameEnthus podcast.
But when you watch
watch
it again, it's like that wasn't that great. Also, watching it again after having seen something like No Way Home that got so many of the important parts right. Watching Venom again was like, whew. And then watching Let There Be Carnage.
It's bad. Like, even on a rewatch, it's like you're comparing something you've described as very good to something that is admittedly, at best, passable.
Yes.
The first one, right? And
this is a movie. That's
it's like that's the bar for that is something like Batman and Robin, above or below that quality. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Right? Anything that really isn't important, it's like Blood, whatever that thing was that Vin Diesel made. That's the kind of thing. You just go, we know this is bad, but is it like worse than Batman and Robin bad, or maybe a little better? Because it can still be really bad and be better than Batman and Robin.
That is true.
Honestly, I don't even know if Venom 2 was worse than Batman and Robin. I got to think about it.
See,
that tells you a lot, homework.
Right? Was there an explicit MasterCard ad during it? Because
that was Batman Forever.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm getting those confused.
No.
No. Val Kilmer is the one that has the.
That was forever. Batman and
Yes,
Robin was
it was like
Arnold
in the beginning.
Schwarzenegger.
That was in the beginning of Batman. Then again, I could believe it was also in Batman and Robin.
I think there is
Same gag.
because isn't wait Batman and Robin, who are they fighting?
Mr. Freeze.
It's Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy.
And Poison Ivy.
It's 100% because
And Bane.
Batman pulls it out at the. Sorry, I'm a child.
He pulls it.
At the charity ball, where he's
You're not
trying,
helping yourself, but yes.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. All right. I'll believe you. I'm looking up.
When like Robin's trying to impress because they've both been like entranced by Poison Ivy.
Oh.
And he's like, oh, I have the platinum card. Never leave home without it.
Here you go. Here's a reason why I could have conflated it in my head. The expiration date on the credit card says forever.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Someone made that prop.
So I probably saw that scene in passing, like when it was on TV, and was like, "Oh, this is Batman Forever."
So, I mean, also the bat nipples that are in that. movie.
Yeah. We don't need to talk. Let's move on.
Okay. The bat nipples, the bat cakes. It's a whole.
The bat cod piece.
There we go. I'm done, Tanya. How about you?
So I mean, I'll start with we did our Extra Life.
We did.
Time.
We haven't had a show since then.
No.
My God. All right. Well, there you go.
Yeah, I went to PAX Unplugged since we had a show.
We have a very inconsistent recording schedule. Like,
well, it gets a little.
Well, yeah,
it gets dicey around the holidays.
Yeah, maybe 2022 will be better.
Maybe.
Hey.
So, but yes. So yeah, we have not recorded since then. I want to thank everyone who donated. We raised something over $5,000.
I had my best year yet. Thanks to all of the people who helped with that.
So
most of whom do not listen, but some people who do. And thanks to you fine folks who
very much appreciated. I have, of course, already signed up for this year.
I'll get around to it.
Yeah, it's not. We've got time. So, so there was that. We already talked about The Matrix. The Witcher Season 2 is very good.
Never seen it.
If you were looking for a fantasy thing, that was a fun one. How do you feel about the upcoming Batman movie? I saw what the Riddler's supposed to look like, and I am less enthused.
He doesn't look real Riddley. Let me tell you that.
It looks like he put on a garbage bag and drew a question mark on it. One question mark.
He said his Batman just keeps getting darker. You can't even see him.
Matthew Lesko is a better Riddler than this guy.
It's my money, Batman.
So that we'll see.
I had to.
It's going to be a real interesting time. Hey,
Thank you for the follow.
I don't know about that Batman. I really don't.
I'm gonna watch it, but I
just want to look up the costume so I can look at it and laugh some more.
Witcher, but back to Witcher Season 2. Henry Cavill doing just great work. I know we're not really talking about games right now, but I'm going to talk about a game that has just taken over part of my life. Wordle is great. I suggest everyone play it.
I played it that one day we talked about it and never since.
Today's Wordle was brutal. I got it, but man, it was close.
I'm good.
See, I refuse to judge myself. It's a binary. It's either I got it or I didn't, and I did get this one, so I'm good.
Did you see my poll that I put on Twitter?
No, I did not.
Apparently, I didn't realize that hard mode means if you have any yellow letters, you have to use them in your subsequent guesses. That's how I I cannot fathom any other way to play that game. So the fact that people were like, yeah, I just randomly guessed. If you know the letter is in the word, why would you not use that same letter in your next guess?
See, I'm going to drive you crazy then.
You are.
Because sometimes...
That's insane.
Sometimes I'm just looking at the letters and nothing's coming together, so I'm like, I can get rid of or maybe find 5 more letters.
But you're throwing a guess away without even.
No, it's not, because you're at
I'm
that
eliminating
point,
options.
Yeah, you've got
you are, but
you get 5 chances to find another letter. You already know one,
right?
So
why would you
want
not
to say?
I don't get
I know
it.
what my incorrects are, like my in the words but not in the correct places.
You're still in a fact finding phase. You're not in a I'm trying to solve the puzzle phase.
Right. At that point, I'm just trying to eliminate all other factors that they could be. Because right now I'm looking at for example, it was like 2 or 3 nights ago now. I did my 4th guess was a complete black bar. Like I got nothing on it. And someone's like, what happened there? I'm like, I was looking at I had 3 of the knowns. A word was not coming to me. So I was like, cool, let me get rid of some of the more common letters. And if they are yellow, great, that gives me more to my stockpile, or at least eliminates them from the keyboard. So
I could not wrap my head around the idea that the way I play every day is considered hard mode. It's not harder.
I didn't know there was a hard mode.
Like, my thing is, if you learn more, why would you not apply it? Like, if I learn these 2 letters are in the word, why would I not apply them in my next? You can still add other consonants and things that you haven't before and still derive data. You can still figure out whether they're in the word or not and figure out the placement for the letters you know are already in the word.
But if I'm just beating my head against the wall, like, this is progress I can make that might ultimately help me, or at least it can't hurt me.
No,
it doesn't. Like, it doesn't hurt me.
But
unless it's your
I guess my thing
guess.
is, right,
as long as it's not. Yeah,
I guess I can't accept putting a word in Wordle that ignores what I've learned. I don't understand doing that, because to me it's just throwing it away.
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just looking to make it in 6. Like, I do not care if I make it faster than that.
Okay. Well, I learned that other people play that way, and I don't understand. Obviously there's no one way of doing it. It's just
there's only one way, and you're doing it wrong.
If I see yellow letters, my next guess is going to have those letters in a different position, trying to figure this out with other letters I have not used already. I cannot figure out why people do it any other way.
Most of mine do, but like at points it's just like I can either sit here not making any progress, like no words coming to me. I put it down some days. I don't come back. There's the thing.
Oh, okay. I'll come back throughout the day.
I am here to either win or fail. Like, I'm not. This isn't like I'll be thinking about it then the rest of the day.
Well, just you pick up your phone or go to the website you had it on, and you just try it again.
No, I'm here to.
Okay, it was interesting to see. I would say 70.
In the morning, I'm going to finish this or not.
I think 77% of the people, only like 26 people responded, were played like, dare I say, the correct way, and then and I think 27% of people play by just throwing out random words. I just don't.
Let me ask this question: do you start with the same word every time?
Every single day.
Every single day.
Every single day is the same word.
I start with,
and then I have I have 2 words. I have list of words like in my head that I go to next, because my first word gets rid of most of the vowels and has a pretty prominent consonant, and it works. Okay, I have a system. Gotcha. I'm a crazy person too.
I agree. Hey, you go Wheel of Fortune rules here, like RSTLNME. So like.
It's funny, somebody gave me a hint for like the second word that they always guess, which kind of breaks the rule that I just talked about that I don't do. But I know this is like the second day I played the game, they eliminated that word from the game because it had too many consonants in it. It wasn't a cheat, but it just.
Gotcha.
I get why they got rid of it.
But now, so the fact that you can recognize that that's an advantage should help you kind of grasp the idea of like, you are trying to shrink your pool of potential answers as much as you can.
Yes,
by putting in that word.
But not at the cost of not putting a word that could potentially really be the word. You know what I mean? What is the word? Oh, we're talking about Wordle. 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 James in the chat, sorry. We're talking about a Wordle.
Fair enough. I mean, the truth is, I don't care about this game at all. I'm glad that I know it exists,
you said that.
and I can appreciate like what people are doing because I played it and I looked at it. So okay, I get it. I'm not 74 years old yet, so this isn't a game for me. But it will be when it doesn't exist anymore if I live that long.
Well, we're not 74 either.
That's what I'm saying. What are you so anxious for being old men for? Let's live our lives.
I wake up in the morning, and one of the first things I do is try Wordle. I don't know why you're associated with old people. Like, I told my mom about it.
That's what I'm saying.
I told my dad about this, and he had no interest.
Oh, my mom's been playing it every day. But my mom likes word games. But yeah, my dad was like, yeah, I'm good.
Well, that could be just dependent on interest in games at all or that kind of a game. But I mean, this feels to me like when everybody's like, oh yeah, words with friends, let's play
Cat
words.
Sudoku.
I'm like, oh, I mean, I might play once, but I'm not going to get into this.
The other thing about this is that, like the stuff storm that came up around the guy trying to, like bring out the iOS app for it and whatnot. And
I saw that.
That all getting pulled.
I mean, if he's that's if somebody's doing mildly to more than scummy enough things that he should be not doing that's like a whole different thing.
There is some Wordle drama.
Yeah, but
that's legal drama. That
is legal drama.
Yeah, that's just protecting. I mean, even if it's not like a money thing, it's just like you can't just take somebody's thing.
Well, and at least the last, maybe I haven't seen more, but the last thing I saw was he's like, I tried to license it and give the guy money. He said no. So I'm considering changing the name of the game.
Well, at that point, it's a clone, and it's just whether it's, I mean, at that, whatever. It is what it is. You get the lawyers to look at it. If they sign off and it's legal, then you do it. I'm not giving you any money no matter what happens here. So you do whatever you want, but there's plenty of clones.
I invested my life savings into the bootleg Wordle, but that's another podcast entirely.
So anyway, we've been talking about Wordle too much.
Yeah, we kind of have.
It's a very fun game. Last thing I'll mention is
exhilarating.
A good chunk of my break I spent fixing computers. So,
hey, look at you!
Were any of them yours?
No, actually. Both of them were my girlfriend's father, so it's 100% for brownie points.
I was gonna say that means he likes you. You fixed them right.
So,
give us an idea of the age.
Oh, both of them. So
the computers.
Computers. The laptop was 5 years.
I want to make sure.
The laptop was 5 years old.
Okay.
But it has an i7 in it. It has 32 gigs of RAM, but for some reason it had a 5400 RPM drive in it.
It's a laptop.
It was a laptop. Yeah, it's a.
That's not that uncommon. The 2.5-inch drives. There's a lot more that are 5400. I bought a Western Digital Black drive for my laptop specifically because it was like the only platter drive I could get that wasn't 5400.
But for how much you're spending on this laptop definitely didn't come standard with 32 gigs of RAM and whatnot in it. So it was upgraded to not do that upgrade.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's not that hard to just go get an SSD and do the backup on the swap thing. And
that's the thing. This one chart caused me the most problems. I did the desktop first. Desktop was easy. I cloned it, popped the hard drive back in. The longest period was waiting for Best Buy, waiting in the pickup line at Best Buy to pick up the hard drive.
Yeah.
The one with the laptop did not every time I cloned the original drive. And so I had to go in and try to modify the boot record. And
what software were you using to try to do that?
So I have AOMEI's backer upper, which is something I've used for years. It's a great tool. It was doing it fine. The issue wasn't this. It was the UEFI interface on the Dell was having problems with anything that wasn't matching the MAC address, the hardware identifier of the original drive. So I had to remember DOS commands. I had to go look up some stuff. I'm I know I can do this.
Yeah.
I do not remember the like strange magical words I have to put in to make it happen.
Yeah.
But eventually I started doing it, and then I was like, this isn't working. Let me restart. And I let it go through, and it started fixing the boot record. So I had messed it up enough for Windows to fix itself.
Oh.
But I don't know what I had done. Like, I couldn't identify.
I took a hammer and a chisel, and I tapped it very gently.
So it eventually worked, but like no auto repairs were working. None of the stuff, none of my clones. So eventually, like I had to go, like do a USB Windows 10 image to get to a command prompt so that I could start like copy boot.ini from C/Windows to the UEFI drive, which was at that point I'd renamed as the X drive. And all this, and like reconfigure MBR, recompile MBR. And anyway, it all worked. He said it runs very fast.
Cool.
Which is good, because, yeah. So again, all brownie points, like 100% brownie points.
I mean, my inclination with those scenarios is generally, even if it's more work, to just fresh install Windows on a new drive. The problem with the laptops is a lot of times there's drivers for the weird components that are inside of it.
That was I had resigned myself to that. That was going to be my answer, and I got confirmation he had a backup of this drive, and I also now have 2 images of that drive. Okay. So like, I was certain I could recover the data, but that's still a chance that like, oh cool, you lost all of my data for me. Hi, it's nice to meet you. So, yeah.
Just bring it in a brown paper bag in like 14 pieces and say, here you go. Didn't work.
I'm meeting her parents for the first time this weekend. So,
in preparation, I didn't break the computer.
I fixed both of those computers.
There you go. Well, good job.
Anyway, so that
I really like your daughter. Your computer is broken. 2 things can be true. Wait, what?
So, anyway, yes. So that's what's been going on.
All right. We did have a question from Robbie 1051. He wanted to know if there's anything at CES that we saw that was of interest. I had 2 things.
This was technically at CES, but like the PSVR 2.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Well, it was announced through.
It was during CES.
Yes.
So like,
it's going to be dumb expensive too.
Oh, have they announced the price?
No, but I just looking at the specs, I'm like, okay.
Well, I mean, you won't be able to get a PS5, so you won't have to worry about it. Like, a lot of people like think of just like how small that market is, and then how much. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah,
they're still making PS4s because
I just saw they increased production on PS4s.
Yep.
Because they were they're having some issues.
And Xbox has quietly killed producing. I thought they'd already stopped making Xbox Ones.
They did.
So why is it news this week that they stopped making them?
I don't know. The news that I saw was just like, we didn't. I mean, we hadn't made any since 2020. So just there you go.
No more questions.
No more.
Well, because I mean, the Series S is essentially just a reformatted.
Yeah, if it had a disk drive, I would totally be there. I'd say, you know what, you're right. This is just a replacement. You don't even need. There's no reason to even make a 1S when you've got a Series S, except for that disk drive.
Gotcha.
I don't know. That's a killer for me.
I've been watching videos about people putting SSDs into like 1X or Series or Xbox One X's, and even though I don't use my 1X regularly, I'm very tempted to do that.
The speed boost is minimal. I thought I'd heard. Well, certainly is. Well, the external one, it was a very minimal speed boost. Goose kind of demonstrated that when he was doing the tests when that was a new thing.
Yes, but like with replacing the internal, because I think it's a 5400 RPM drive as well in there. So like I saw like payload loads that are much faster and whatnot.
Okay.
I hooked up my 360 again. So
is the bottleneck the USB 3.0 then?
No, because I mean the bottleneck at this For the external?
Yeah, for an external SSD.
Probably, but it also, I guess it depends how it's connected to the... I don't know how the... Like, it doesn't have a dedicated PCI lane or PCIe lane, or how it is interfacing. So, because as someone pointed out, like, when did the Xbox... That's 2014 the Xbox One came out, and then...
The 13 for the original one.
Okay, so that means hardware was locked in 2011, and like they were using mobile as the basis for the hard. So like there's a lot of
Xbox Ones, especially One X's, are going for decent money on the used market. Like they're not they're not being clearanced out like on the. They're not going for cheap on like eBay, and like even GameStop's paying stupid money for trading it in. I'm like, I'm just as tempted to take stupid money as I am to say that means I should never get rid of it in case I ever want one.
I was gonna say that's why I still have mine. I'm like, I
don't know. My One X is the Just Dance. I don't feel like going downstairs to play.
Well, so that's the other thing. It's the best Connect machine I have.
Oh yeah.
Like
it would be if I had the adapter. I don't have the adapter.
I have the adapter.
I have the adapter.
I've had the adapter for
a third-party adapter
quite some time.
So.
Third party.
Oh, the third. I know.
I didn't know that those were a thing.
It was like $28 on Amazon or whatever. I'm pretty sure it's third party. I'd have to go back and check. So. All
right, the two things I was going to mention real fast were Kohler, who makes faucets and all that kind of stuff. They had this faucet that would come down from your ceiling into your sink, and it was like $6,000, not including like the plumbing work.
I was going to say
to run a line above your sink, but like why it existed, and then there's like a little like wireless interface that you could tap to. I don't know why they. Obviously, it's just to get people to talk about them.
In this, yeah. Like,
what do we? What?
Yeah, they only do it so people talk about Kohler so they can sell the actual real products that they're only going to sell.
Okay, CNET. The CNET article is called "Don't Go Chasing This Waterfall."
Please
without
stick to the
$6,200.
Yeah, it's dumb. But
that hurts my soul.
I guess to really answer Robbie's question, like seriously, I think it was BMW had like a color changing car.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
That was really cool. It's basically using a more advanced e-ink technology, and it was constantly like in motion and doing little patterns and stuff. It's pretty cool. I can't imagine how much it costs to like maintain, but it seemed really neat that they could do that on a car.
The other question is like how sturdy is it?
I don't know. I mean, I think about like you've all seen cars with matte finishes.
Right.
I mean, you get a scratch in that thing, it's the whole door has to be replaced. Like you can't buff it. Like you can't do anything. All you can really do at that point is replace it. I'd imagine it's even worse for something like this.
Yeah, that doesn't even inch. I don't even want to look at that because I'm afraid that I might trip on something like a rock that flies into the car, and now
you're responsible.
My life savings and then some.
All right, James is right. Fast and Furious 10. A color changing car. There you go. That's what they have to do.
That is 100% going to be a Fast.
That has to be in the next one.
That's the
in
the
space.
Next extreme past moon. It's like, well, we went into space already. What's the next more extreme thing?
Riding cars on top of dinosaurs. That's what's going to happen in Fast and Furious 10.
God, I want the Fast and Furious Jurassic World crossover. That'd be great.
That's all they can really do at this point. So. All right, we ready to talk Game of the Year stuff? Games. Well, I guess games that we played that we really liked of the year.
Well, do we want to start with like other categories, or do you want to go straight into?
You pick when you want them. We'll say whenever you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jumping the dino.
Okay.
I swear it's not a shark. It's a megalodon.
Yeah, that ninth movie was rough. He has a brother you never saw.
It was fun. It was fun and stupid.
I hated the ninth one.
I guess let's start with lists because I think everything else kind of builds off of lists. So,
okay. We're gonna do like our theoretical 10 up to 1.
Yes.
Well, you guys can talk until you get to 5, at which point I'll join in.
And yeah, I only have 8, so I guess Aaron, you can start with yours. But I will also say before that, I have been slightly busy in the background. And
did you change my list again?
I did not change your list.
It's like
I just noticed your change on the thing I was complaining about earlier.
A presentation about my list.
What?
Oh,
you did this just now?
I did this in the last 10 minutes. I actually started working on one for you as well. And then
I need to adjust. Hold on a second. I need to adjust some things because
is it showing? I don't even know.
It's not. So let me.
There you go.
Let me figure this out because I had the chat on. You know, it doesn't matter. People can just see this and not us.
I'll full screen it so that.
Is this like a PowerPoint?
It is a PowerPoint.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he's showing off. It's okay though.
Are we? Is this like work related all of a sudden?
Yes.
I
have a requirements document. I'm going to
say I'm no longer comfortable.
So I'm going to go through mine real quick just because.
All right, now people can actually see it. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Because it should be full screen now. It shouldn't just be the presentation.
Yes, James, I have 10, and I do aim to impress. Sorry, go ahead.
So my game number 8. Oh, I already forgot what it is. There it is. Back for Blood. I played a lot of this game for a month, a little over a month after it came out.
Did you do this for all of us or just you?
I did it only for me. I started working on it.
You can't do it for me. I didn't tell you what my list was.
Yeah, and I don't have Mike's list.
No, he admitted he looked before, so he knows it's on my list.
I started. Black for Blood. I very much enjoyed. Like I already enjoyed.
We should do. I wish you mentioned. I would have done this. This is so much nicer.
I literally was coming up with it 10 minutes ago.
Well, go really slowly so I can make my own.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
So I mean, all I did was copy out the side entry on Google for the write-ups.
Yeah, but had I known.
So number 8, Back for Blood. Like I said, I played through this game with friends, including our friend of the show, BC Terps, my buddy Vidala. I think
I played once
with us. Mike, you bemoaned the whole time. I
uninstalled it as fast as I could.
So, but as being the spiritual successor from Left 4 Dead, like this game was a lot of fun.
Also, I don't care for Left 4 Dead.
Right.
Just putting that out.
I actually like Left 4 Dead.
I'm actually more surprised about how
fine. I don't want to play it though.
How much Aaron liked this game because he hated the time we played Left 4 Dead.
That's not true at all. I like Left. Why do you say such things?
It was so painful.
Why'd you
go back to the tape? I think Twitch deleted it 2 years ago.
I like Left 4 Dead. What do you mean?
The analog tape really had the nasty stuff, not this digital.
I like Left 4 Dead. I don't know where this is coming from.
Okay.
I don't understand.
My number 7.
Wait. I got some like honorables just to throw out there. Stuff that I didn't really play. It's not really on my list, but it sort of rounds out some numbers.
Okay. Do we want to do this in parts? Because we should let Aaron do his 9 and 10 then. I thought I was just going to do my whole list real quick.
Oh yeah. No. Let's count down.
If you keep going as we go, then I can make something then.
Right,
quickly.
Aaron's going to make his own presentation right now, Mike.
Oh, okay.
I'm not
Whatever makes everyone.
I mean, I can talk long enough for you to do that.
I'm not going to do any of that.
So Mike is not going to.
Go for it. Keep talking.
Okay, number 7 is a game. I think I'm the only one of the 3 of us that played this. Life is Strange, True Colors.
It's a shame they didn't have more than just the 2. They should have made it like more than Binochrome or whatever.
What?
The 2 colors. That's it.
True Colors, Michael.
No, I heard.
Colors.
Go ahead. It's a stupid joke that I tried to drag out forever. Go ahead.
But this game, I very much have enjoyed. I think all of the Life is Strange games so far. So Life is Strange Before the Storm, Life is Strange 2, and now this one. They've all been really interesting, and this one is. I think it gets a little evil. Like, there is someone that you're set up to like, and I'm like, okay, this guy's going to be the bad person. Like, the whatever. Like, anyway. Unfortunately, that's kind of what happens. but there are twists before that, and like how her powers work, where she can essentially, she's kind of like Deanna Troi from like Star Trek. She can empathize, but the closer your character is to the person with the strong emotions, like the stronger they control her. So like someone's beating up another person and she gets close enough that she knocks the person that is the aggressor off and starts kicking their ass.
Okay. And
then at another point they're doing a LARP and someone's enjoying the kid you're with, who you're trying to like, there's been a tragedy and you're trying to get him to come out of his shell because he's kind of withdrawn because of the tragedy. He gets so into the LARP that because of her powers, she kind of changes it from like people in goofy costumes to essentially it's a Final Fantasy game. And like the demons look like demons and not just people in paper mache and all that stuff. It was just very good. I would suggest people play it.
Well, how about, so as of, for instance, I played the first one and Before the Storm, and that's it. And a little bit of the Captain Underpants thing. But what would you recommend? Jumping into this or playing any of the other ones first?
So the only one you haven't played is 2. 2 is interesting. It's the 2 brothers, and one of them has superpowers. And it's about, like, my problem in 2 is just how irresponsible every adult in that game is. Like, because of stuff that happens at the beginning, you as the older brother and you are taking your younger brother and you've decided you're going to go to Mexico because that's where the rest of your family lives. Like the family you still talk to, you have grandparents that still live in the U.S.
And that's that number 2 was or was not made by Don't Nod.
That was made by Don't Nod because this one's made by Deck 9.
Who made Before the Storm.
Who made Before the Storm as well.
Okay.
So, and like it's a real interesting, but like there's the lightest of connections to the first game. Like at one point you see Amity Bay or whatever. That's not the right name. But wherever the first Life is Strange takes place.
Yeah, something Bay. I don't know.
Where did you get these images and descriptions from, by the way?
So if you look up the game, the description's on the right side of Google search, and I just found the first like image that was large enough that wouldn't look bad.
Oh, so you did even more work. Okay, got it.
Yeah, I'm attempting to hastily shuffle some things together. Could you do that for me?
So, also, I see in the chat there's some discussions about the Matrix
Spider-Man.
and how Spider-Man was underwhelming, and we can just ban Ret Noob now. That's fine.
Yeah, Spider-Man was awesome, even though
sounds like somebody had very high expectations.
So
that's usually what that means.
So, but anyway, Life is Strange came out this year. It just came out on the Switch. I think it's actually like a cloud game. But you can play it on any platform, including Google Stadia. So I would strongly suggest giving it a shot. Like I really enjoyed it.
I don't know if it comes to Game Pass.
I mean, is it coming to the Intellivision Amico? Because if not, I've kind of lost interest.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know that we got time to talk about that.
You didn't give them money, did you?
No, I didn't give them money.
Oh, thank God.
I theoretically could have, but I didn't, thankfully.
Number 6 for me was Resident Evil Village. Man, like fighting the werewolves was fun in this game. I think I like this game more than I enjoyed. Like, I liked Resident Evil 7 a lot, but I think I like the bosses in this game better.
Yes.
I think they're more dynamic. Some of the bosses in 7, like, I hated fighting the mom with, the bugs.
That was bad, how they did that. That was bad.
Yeah. This one, I think they knock it out of the park with Lady Demetress or whatever at the beginning and her 3 daughters.
Yeah, my kids knew who that was. I was like, how do you know who that is?
It's tough to beat that, and I don't think any of the other bosses match that, but I
not
did
anywhere
enjoy
close.
Fighting the fish guy or
Donna Beneviento, not the boss fight, but her house and level was quite memorable.
The creepy baby chasing you through. Yeah. Anyway, yes, I very much enjoyed Resident Evil Village. I do agree with a lot of people that criticize that if just Chris Redfield would open his mouth,
so much of that game wouldn't even need to exist.
So it's the Final Fantasy X problem where if like Orin just told Tidus what was going on, you could have avoided most of the
Tell
stuff.
him why you shot his wife. Explain.
Right.
Tell him the name of the movie. You know?
But it was Resident Evil Village was very good. I enjoyed the heck out of it. When you take over as Chris at one point, like that was an interesting change.
Yeah, these slides aren't coming out. I just want to, this is not working out. This is slow to a crawl.
So 5, Halo Infinite is a surprise with how much I enjoyed it.
Really?
I am, yes, because, and there are still questions I have about the story, and I would say I'm at least, somewhat familiar with the Halo lore.
You've read
I've read a number of the novels, and comics and all that stuff, and played through most of Halo Wars 2. But like them bringing it to an open world, and I understand some of the people's complaints that the open world introduced a lot of copy and paste mission, like, oh, take out the critical enemy so you can get the special weapon, or save the troops. But like every time I saw one of like save the troopers pop up, I did that immediately. Like it was like, yo, this was what Master Chief would do. We're gonna go save those people. And it also ended up letting me get the flying vehicles much quicker, so I could get around the open world in a faster fashion. But the best part of it is the grappling hook. It's awesome. Like they made Master Chief swing around like Spider-Man, and I didn't know I needed that in my life. But I did, and it's great. Like the other add-ons he got were cool, but like that grappling hook is awesome. And as you upgrade it so it gets a shorter cooldown and whatnot, just fun.
And much like in Titanfall 2, the grappling hook option thing, it was like, I don't really want any of the other things. The only one that was even close was the stim, which lets you run really fast. But all this, like, oh, you could clone yourself or so. No, get me the thing where I can shoot the grappling hook up to wherever I want.
If I'm ever if I'm using another one of those, options, that means I'm not using the grappling hook, and a mistake has been made.
Right.
So, yeah. So
it'd be great if Master Chief took his helmet off and underneath was a Spider-Man mask.
No, underneath was the Mandalorian.
With a mask on, right?
With a mask on.
Okay. Anyway, I mean, this story, like, I understand the complaints, and actually, Mike, have you started playing this yet?
Not the campaign.
Not the campaign. I look forward to the text from you where you're like, "What's going on? I just don't like that." Because like,
I'm afraid. I'm afraid.
They drop you in the middle of the story here, and I can see how that will frustrate you.
It starts off really well, though. I gotta say. It does.
Oh, I think that first level or the first like 3 levels where you're in the
it was I was all in. I was like, yes, let's do this.
Yeah, so it was wonderful. I enjoyed it. It surprised people. I think it looked very nice. I enjoyed a lot. I think all the side missions that I could find. It was a wonderful game. I enjoyed the heck out of it during the month of like December. And I played some of the multiplayer. Like I'm not playing as much as Aaron is, but
I've played it almost every night.
So, but yeah. Let's see, what's the next one? Oh, this one might be controversial. We'll see. But Mass Effect Legendary Edition was a great release in 2021.
I'm fine with you putting this on this list.
It's a new SKU. That's my argument.
And it's no matter what,
upgraded.
It's not. They didn't just say, "Hey, the 360 versions run," and that's what you're playing. This is a new executable thing. Like bugs could be introduced. Like there's reason to know, is this a good version of those 3 games?
Agreed. And it packages all the content around it. So like if you didn't play any of the DLCs from 2 and 3, or 1, like now you have them already all integrated, so you'll just play through as you're playing through the game.
Wasn't there something with like Dr. Pepper or something like that?
There were like weird like, oh, you can get a different visor that like was themed or whatever. I don't think was in there.
I thought it was. I thought it was everything that they didn't literally lose the code for.
I was going to say there was the one DLC they lost the code for that is not in here.
Oh yeah, I remember you talking about that.
That was made by a third party development team. But like, I played through all 3 of these games, I think, in a month. Like, I just really enjoyed going back to Mass Effect, how it looked, having all that content, being able to play. I know the multiplayer is supposed to be coming. Like, I believe that's, if it hasn't been announced, it's just a really badly kept rumor. Like, but it was a great experience to replay these 3 games. And I had done that on my Twitch channel a couple years ago, and with HD packs and whatnot. But going back and playing these again, like, just, like, if you have not played Mass Effect, play these. And also, like, go play Andromeda. Like, a lot of that stuff is, like, a lot of the problems people had are in the past for it now. But
I'm telling you right now, I'm never gonna touch Andromeda, no matter what.
But I mean, now it's up on Game Pass as part of the EA part of Game Pass. So if you have that, you can play it on your Xbox or on PC.
Yeah, Legendary did just a week or 2 ago.
Like,
I think
within the week, yeah. So I can't, like, if you enjoy space operas like Firefly or Star Trek or any of that stuff, you will most likely enjoy Mass Effect, and I would wholeheartedly suggest you go play it.
How's the frame rate on it?
Great. Like, I mean,
good.
The Xbox Series X crushed it that I played it on. So, actually, and honestly, I played it also on the One X when I would go up. Like, I had the One X hooked up to a small TV upstairs when I wanted to just grind out like some of like the simpler side missions. So, I really enjoyed the heck out of it.
Very cool.
So the next game, my number 3, is probably not going to surprise anyone if they have ever watched me stream, because it's Pokemon Snap. It's new Pokemon Snap.
A different game.
A different game. They finally made a sequel to the 1999.
Another $60.
Well, so there's a story there. 60 or 120 because I bought the digital version and also still had the physical copy on the way, but it wasn't going to get here for a couple days. I have a problem at points.
You like this game? What can we say?
I was really looking forward to this game, and I streamed a bunch of it. And then they actually came out with DLC and they added more courses and more Pokemon in it for free. So, I'm not going to convince anyone if you don't enjoy the concept of Pokemon and also like safari photography, because that's what this game is. I don't think I'm going to convert anyone new to it, but if you enjoyed the original game or you enjoy games like Africa on the PS3, then you should check this out. Like, it's just dumb fun, and you can now share all of the stuff up on Twitter, and all of that stuff's integrated. There were a lot of sharing component, like you can have people rate your best photos, and I hope they add more content to it. That's the only thing. Like, I hope there is more content coming. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. My nephews got a kick out of it when we were on vacation, and I showed it to them. It's a new Pokemon style. Honestly, there will probably be like, I'm surprised it's not number 1, but there were 2 games I enjoyed more this year.
Do tell.
Number 2, Hitman 3. Like, and not only Hitman 3, the game itself, but because Hitman 3 is a platform that brought in the other 2, all of the content from the other 2 games. So you could play through all 3 Hitman games inside Hitman 3 with all of the upgrades to them. And like get one conducive look at the story of Agent 47 in this launched Hitman series. This is also the one that has the like Knives Out inspired scenario where you can decide to replace a private investigator and have to figure out who killed the guy at the mansion while you're also talking to his family members, and like you are Daniel Craig in this scenario. I've played through Hitman 3's content probably 3 or 4 times now. Just the levels are there. And they're a lot of fun. They're so dynamic. But again, also being able to bring in the other, as long as you're on the same platform. So like I played all these on the PlayStation platform. I was able to bring in Hitman 1 and 2.
Not Stadia? Come on.
Nope, not Stadia.
Step it up.
Or on Nintendo Switch, because this is another cloud game on Nintendo Switch. I can't speak highly enough. Like, there are people, and they have perfectly valid criticisms that this one feels slightly lesser than the previous two, because this is the first one that IO Interactive is publishing on their own, as compared to being under Square Enix, because this game is the first they published outside of the Square Enix relationship. And while I think they're like the cutscenes are a little rougher and whatnot, you can see, I think it was great that they were able to bring in all of the content because they now own every piece of this.
And it's coming to Game Pass January 20th.
It's coming to Game Pass. They just announced year 2 content. So like I saw Spawn on Me was going to be featured in it and whatnot.
That's what's up.
So yeah, so like it's just I think Shaq News was also in there for their content last year. Like it's just like it's very cool, and as they keep adding on to it, and they're bringing in features from the other Hitman games, so like stuff from Blood Money and whatnot is also on the roadmap for year 2. I'm looking forward to playing it. Like it's going to be awesome. And my number 1 game of the year was a game I think I played through twice this year. Psychonauts 2 was great, and I don't know if it was going to be great before the Microsoft purchase and gave them another year to develop it.
It is good.
I played through the first Psychonauts as part of a game club a decade ago now. I did not play it when it originally came out on the Xbox. And like I looked forward to it. I played some of the Rhombus of Ruin, but Psychonauts 2 had me going through, I think I'm like 95% of the figments now found in Psychonauts 2.
Wow.
I will go back and finish that off, and I think that's the last thing I need to do in it. Like I wanted to spend more time in that world because there was a lot of fun things about what was going on, who is the enemy, who is the villain, but also realizing that maybe like superheroes are still fallible, and like what happened with the original Psychonauts. There were a lot of pieces to it. There's a whole you're saving one of the original Psychonauts, and you have to bring back all their senses together, and it's doing a music festival. And so like you're finding the voice, and you're finding hearing, and you're finding touch, and then it ultimately brings together a character that is voiced by Jack Black, and he starts singing and whatnot, and it's just great.
Did you just spoil Psychonauts 2?
I don't think I did, but
okay.
If I don't know.
I only made it to the outside part, like where where your family's there and you kind of go off with them. But I have been enjoying it though.
So like, and some of the how it connects back to your family's history, because remember like the reason they made an excuse that Raz couldn't go into water was because your family was cursed, and that gets addressed in here. And there's a lot of stuff. It was so good. I kind of wish I could play it again, like new. But yeah, Psychonauts 2 is definitely I don't know, my game of the year. Like I enjoyed the heck out of it.
Wow.
I would suggest everyone, especially if you have Game Pass, because it's up there, because it is on Microsoft. It's published.
Yeah, which hopefully means it'll be there like for the duration and not disappear in 6 months or something.
It should. I mean,
the only reason I could see it disappearing is if there was some licensing issue, kind of like how Forza 5, I think, got pulled not because of an issue with the game, but they're not paying, BBC anymore for the Top Gear stuff. So, but yeah, so those are my games, and the format that I gave my co-hosts no heads up on. So,
yeah. I was trying to follow in suit, but it just wasn't. It just wasn't happening. But going forward, this will be the best way to do it. So there's a visual, and this was good.
So, but yes, I mean, I could. Well, I will also build once I know their list. I will build that, and we can put that up on the website. But yeah, so that's mine. Who wants to go next, and then we'll do a couple categories. And
okay, let me fix some of this stuff. Mike, why don't you go ahead and
Sure, why not?
while I fix all this, because yeah.
Well, then I'll skip. All right, who cares about any of the things that I touched that I didn't play enough to rank? So my number 5 game, because that's all I got, is the Gunk, which I'm still actually working on.
Me
and
too.
hey, Michael, wait a sec. Okay, you said the Gunk, right?
I did.
Okay, I'm gonna fill in your list. So there is at least something up on the screen.
Neato. So yeah, I mean the Gunk is a game where there's not a whole lot of like.
You can reuse the Gunk for me too.
What are they? There's not a whole lot of like twitchy kind of gameplay. Like fast reflexes are not needed if you die, which is mostly when you fall, or if you just stand there and let something continually pummel you until you die. Like the falls, you get right back up to where you jump from. The checkpointing is fantastic, man. Yeah, like there's not a lot of punishment involved. So far, I haven't encountered anything that was overly difficult. Right now, I'm on like a weird puzzle where I'm like turning platforms, and I tried for 2 nights in a row, and I didn't quite wrap my head around it. But I was also falling asleep while holding the controller each night, so I chalk it up to that, and I think I'll probably be able to figure it out because I did make some headway last night. It's engaging. The characters are interesting. I mean, the voice over, everybody's talking about how they pronounce this, that, what. It doesn't bother me. It is what it is. And the artwork itself for the characters is a little uncommon, but it's amusing. I like the way they talk. I'm genuinely interested in these characters. So it's engaging, and I'm enjoying it. And it's probably a game I would have not purchased, but because it's on Game Pass, I gave it a shot, and I'm still playing it. And I do want to see it to the end. I'm on the 7th or something, chapter 8. I don't know. Whatever it was, I'm definitely in the last third. Anyway,
and the Gunk is exclusive to Xbox, right?
I think so.
Yes, or at least for now, I'm not sure. I don't remember. We talked about it during Extra Life, and I didn't know that you said that this was made by the people who make the SteamWorld.
Image and Form. You actually find what's the character from SteamWorld's name? Rusty. When you go into the ship, if you look on the desk, you can see a little miniature Rusty on the desk.
Oh,
yeah.
I never played the SteamWorld.
I like SteamWorld Dig 2 more than
that's
the
what
original
everybody says,
because it was so much better.
I like the what was the shoot the
Heist.
Tactics one, Heist. That is probably mine.
Oh, and then the Quest one, the
the card game.
The card, yeah, that was good
anyway,
too.
So that's the Gunk, and this is Assault Suit.
Yes,
Michael's top 5 games of the year.
Well, no, just my favorites.
Okay.
I would not at all consider
Mike's Assault Suits.
I do not have the ability to rank all of the stuff. This is just the stuff that I've enjoyed the most to the best of my recollection.
I'm the same way, yeah.
For 2021. And number 4 for me
mine was definitive. I just want you to know that now.
Okay.
I'm declaring. Number 4 for me is The Artful Escape, which is a lot more...
really? Wow.
Entertainment.
I didn't stick with it.
It was quirky. It was just a wild concept. Like the gameplay is not there. That's not what this even is. It didn't even have to be a game. It could have just been an animated movie.
That was I didn't feel like I was doing enough. That's why I didn't get
But
into
I didn't
it.
care. Like again, this is a game. There's a theme here of like very little punishment. You know,
But
you
you can
fall off
just
a
watch
thing.
The Rocker with Rainn Wilson
fine.
and get the same feeling out of it.
You do the Simon Says boss patterns. You fail, they just go, here it is again. Try again until you get it. You know, like it's all good, and it sounds cool. I like listening to the people doing the voice acting, even when there were glitches and bugs and things where if you hit the skip button a little too fast, then the voice doesn't come out. It was kind of a bummer, but you know, and I'm not saying the ending was like mind blowing, like, oh, if you can't stand the game, the ending makes it all worth it. Nothing like that.
Gotcha.
But I found it to be casual enjoyment. Like I would play 20 minutes a night for a month or whatever until I finished it. And it was good. You know, for me, it came out of nowhere. I didn't know anything about it until people started talking about it. And then it was on Game Pass. And I said, again, no additional funds needed. I'll just give it a shot. And
what platform is the Artful?
Well, I played it on the Series X. I think it's exclusive for now to Microsoft.
Okay.
But I'm not positive about that.
That's fine.
But that's what I played it on. The next one, number 3, is a cheat. And I'm going to use the excuse that even though this is not the version that I played,
okay,
a version of it was released this year in the format of a physical cartridge by Limited Run for the Nintendo Switch. And what I'm talking about is Ys Origin for I played it on the Vita. That version came out, I don't know how many years ago. The original version of Ys Origin came out in 2006. So this is not a new game by any means, but
this is why you were fine with Mass Effect. Okay.
No. I mean, sure, you could say that, but truly, there's like for your list, there's nothing to even. I wouldn't even give that one a caveat. That's just that was literally a 2021 release. This I know it isn't, but I don't have much to fill out the list, and I did dedicate a lot of time to this. And yet again, this was a game that gave me very little trouble and allowed me to progress at a pace that I was happy with. And I talked about it a lot on the show, but I really enjoyed the story much more than I ever thought I would. I had been hearing for years that this game is just a combat focused game that takes place completely within the tower instead of going around the countryside or anything like that. And in some ways that's true, but there's a lot of good story, good conversations that people have. Like the writing is good enough that it's like I'm engaged with each of the characters. They all have their own personalities, and all of the major ones, the ones that really matter to what's going on, are really well written. Gotcha. And I thought it was great. So as far as I know, the Switch version is probably a good version to play it on, because it ran fantastic on the Vita, except for the very final boss, which the frame rate was really, really bad. So hopefully every other platform it runs 100%, but very, very cool. My number 2 game, and this one actually did come out in 2021. This is for the Nintendo Switch. This is very specifically the Bowser's Fury portion of Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury, because Mario 3D World is an older game. I did not actually replay it this year. We played a little bit online. We showed how it's not really the best way of playing Mario 3D World. It's good, but you have to finagle the thing, which would have been touchscreen on the gamepad. So Bowser's Fury, completely different thing, its own thing, another short experience, something that's easily beatable. And I just thoroughly enjoyed everything about it. The scenario where you are playing the time game, waiting for Bowser to get up and change the world and make it all dangerous and everything for a bit. I didn't mind it, mostly because it wasn't too long. It didn't overstay its welcome, so I never dreaded that coming around again. I mean, maybe in the moment for a split second, but I got over it real fast. But like, even the music was great when it happened. Every time it's like it's pumped up like metal kind of a thing. It was like, yeah, this is energetic and it's fun. I liked it a lot. So I look forward to whatever Nintendo does with that. But in a lot of ways, similar to my last year's number 1 pick of the Astrobot game for PS5, a relatively short platformer kind of a game. I mean, speaks my language, I guess, and it's Mario. So drawn to it. I mean, if this was called whatever the bad guy's name in Lucky Super Tails Fury, I probably would have never touched it, right? So, like, even if it was exactly the same game and just as fun and blah blah blah, the fact that it was a Mario game, that it led me to give it a go. So leading me to my number one pick, and I think one that very few people, if anyone else on the planet, will have on their list. My number one pick for this year, my favorite game, the game that I played, maybe not the most hours, but the most times, is Darius Pinball for the At Games Legends pinball machine. And
you love robotic fish.
It is the pinball game on that platform that spoke to me the most. I'm not claiming it's the best pinball game ever made. It's not the best video pinball I've ever seen, but it gave me exactly what I wanted, which was a pinball table that was not overly complex. Mm-hmm. It had a theme that I liked. It had artwork that I thought was fantastic. It was a fair game. It is I have to correct myself, and I'm getting to it real fast. It was a fair game, and it was exactly the kind of thing that I wanted. I have to say was because about a month or two ago, they put out an update for the game and for the whole pack. It was a part of a four pinball tables, all based on Taito properties, and this update changed each of those tables. It is a different game now. It's not bad. I'm still getting used to it. There's things about it that I don't quite get now, but the bottom half of the play field is the same. The top half is completely different, and I don't like it as much. It would not make my list if this was the game that they put out originally, I don't think. But all things considered, I am enjoying it. The thing that bums me out is I can't play the old one anymore. Oh. It's gone. And I hope they do something about that at some point in time. It's also really stupid that they share the high scores, not just locally, but across the internet. And
there's two different things, though.
They're two different games. The high scores, once they switch to this one, they all shot up. And when I set my mark, the best I ever did on the original table, I was number 7 in the world, and I have fallen down to like almost 30 because this new version, you are able to earn more extra balls. In the original one, you could only earn 1, so a maximum of 4. That was it. Whatever you could score with it, that's what you got. Now, once you've earned 1, lost it, you can start earning another one. So if you're lucky enough, good enough, you can play a lot longer, and it changes things. And I'm trying to get there. I may. I don't know that I'll ever like it quite as much as I like the first version, but I'm still enjoying it. It's bumming me out that the one that was my pick is gone. But it is what it is. I played it a lot. I played it multiple plays every day for weeks, and then after that I still kept coming back to it again and again. And even now, every time I turn it on, I'm exploring more of the tables that I have, but it's the one that I still go back to the most, even if it is a different table. It's cool, and I'd love to have a poster of that play field, something to hang on the wall, that artwork, because I think it's great, really hot stuff, just very bright, colorful. It's the Darius spaceships shooting lasers at the space fish. It's just cool, good stuff. So
gotcha.
Those are my ranked numbered things. So I guess if we're leaving the other categories, Aaron, are you prepared?
Well, I think how about we go talk about some of the other categories real quick so I can finish something up.
Okay.
Okay. We had a question in the chat from James about what were my kids' and family's favorite games of the year.
Oh, that's good.
I put in the chat, but just to answer it verbally. My kids, all they really play, they play Minecraft, they play Just Dance, Genshin Impact, and then there's this cookie, like, dungeon crawler thing that my youngest plays a lot of, but that's kind of it.
Was that what they were playing at the the get together that JV and Danny and because they were all playing it on the tablets.
Yeah.
So.
But that's kind of it. I mean, like Mario Kart and stuff like that. But yeah, they kind of but Minecraft is really what they play the most of. They love some Minecraft. So, and shout out to Super Nintendo Dad.
Oh, what's going on, Chris?
Hey, Chris.
Sorry.
I guess to also to sort of answer that question, because the viability of Friday the 13th has turned into mush. I mean, it's playable, but it's dedicated. It's not dedicated. The dedicated servers are gone. It's peer-to-peer only, and it makes it super wonky and host priority. And if the host leaves even for a second, even if by accident, the game just goes away.
It's like Gears 1 all over again.
It's a problem enough that my wife has resigned herself that they almost never play it. So she has almost exclusively switched over to Fortnite. Plays it all the time now. So, wow. Yeah.
Just so different. Like, I could never have imagined
that she play Fortnite.
No, me neither. But she's gotten good enough that she can regularly kill people with guns now, which was kind of a thing.
Do you play with her? I mean, that's the
no. I don't play Fortnite.
A statement to be said out loud.
No, I mean, like, she'll admit, like the aiming thing. Like, sure, there is a gun in Friday the 13th, but it's got like one bullet or something.
Right. Yeah, it's the rifle.
And Ilphonic did not exactly make the smoothest of gameplay games. So learning to pull the left trigger to aim and right trigger to shoot in that game for your first aim and shoot kind of a thing, not great. Like, I'll give credit to Fortnite in the shooting feels good. It's a shooty game.
The game is popular.
Yeah, so she's learning on that and doing better, but she's into it for playing with her friends and playing dress up and that kind of thing.
Gotcha, that's really cool.
That's what's up.
Okay, let's do one category.
Okay, you want to do biggest gaming related disappointment?
We can do that.
Okay.
Do you want to go first, or else?
Yeah. It's funny. I'll go first, but the thing about it is, when I read that, I read it as like biggest game disappointment, not game. Like gaming is it's better.
I think games are gaming related.
No, they are. It's just it was. I didn't realize until like right now how much broader that question really was.
Be. Like there's a lot of stuff that could fall into that.
Okay. I have two things in here. They're going to be a little controversial, but I'll try to explain. So the first thing I have in here is, Scoop Moose asked if you could turn your mic up, Tiny. I don't know.
If I can turn my mic up, yeah, we can probably figure that out.
So the first thing, this is a weird one. I know for some folks, like, why would you say this? Ratchet and Clank or Rift Apart. I know that sounds weird to make it a disappointment, but like, I have tried to like so many Ratchet and Clank games. I love platformers. I love 3D platformers. I like action games. It combines so many of those things into one thing. It should be like number one on my list. But it's once again, and it's a beautiful game. It looks so good. But it's just not that fun. I don't know what it is. And I've tried. I guess what it is, I get tired of it's pretty, but that only carries me so long because I feel like you walk up like 1,500 feet, not like, 15 to like 100 feet, and then it locks you off, and, it's an arena. So shoot everything in the arena. And it's like, I don't like doing that for long periods of time because I don't care about the story at all. So like, if I cared about the story, that might carry me through, but I don't care about the story like at all. So it just, I don't know. I tried it. I borrowed it from a friend of mine, and he keeps asking me, "Did you play it?" And he loved it. And I'm just like, I'm gonna try to be. I mean, I'm probably halfway through it. That's the thing. It is a beautiful game. It is well made. It just doesn't hold my attention for very long, and I don't know why. So, Scoop Moose says in the chat, you should play Ratchet and Clank All for One. I've played Ratchet and Clank All for One. He said, with my kids? Nah, I like my kids. I'm not going to make them play Ratchet and Clank all for one.
I see, I don't know. My friend, actually, him and his kids really enjoyed playing it. So
was that the downloadable one for PS3?
Yes.
No, this is the 4-player party game. No.
Oh, you're thinking of A Crack in Time, or
yeah.
No, Crack in Time was a disc game.
It was a disc game.
There was the
All for One is the 4-player co-op run through, kind of like New Super Mario Brothers or 3D World.
But it was PS3, right?
It was for
definitely PS3. So, and then my next disappointment was this is gonna be controversial too. Guardians of the Quest for Booty. That's what it was. Scoop Moose
Quest
said
for
Quest for
Booty. Yeah,
Booty.
Quest for Booty was the down. Yeah, I'm looking at the cover. This is definitely a disc game.
That was
in fact, it was 3D compatible. 3D television compatible.
They're still doing those.
No,
I know. Which Guardians of the Galaxy is my other disappointment. I had heard people just talk that game up so much. Tiny, you included.
How long did you play?
Not
You didn't get out of the tutorial.
I'm not. I don't get. It's not a bad game. I haven't
played the game, but everybody says you got to play for 20 to 25 hours before it gets good.
I'm not playing that long.
Anyone say that, but okay.
I didn't know
that's the Final Fantasy.
I was going to say that's the Final Fantasy. 13.
No, sorry, it's only 4 hours you have to trudge through.
Okay, I'm going to keep playing it, but I just the banter and stuff. I just don't care, and the combat isn't so far.
Wait, why? I mean, again, haven't played it, but why don't you care about the banter? Because it's not interesting? It's not funny?
You know what it is? It's because they don't look like the movie characters. I'll be honest.
Oh, okay. Well,
that is why.
That's a hurdle that's not going to change.
I don't care. To me, they are the great value versions of those characters.
It's a different Guardians though. They're not.
I know.
The Nova Corps is different. Everything that's in there is.
I know. Here's the thing. I understand why everybody else likes it. I just wish I liked playing it more. It's not bad. It's just because it was so hyped. It was oh, okay, this is okay. And the banter, it's not. It's that same type of feeling you get from the movies. And it's not that the writing is bad. It's a disconnect for me. So I don't know.
Every time you start saying stuff like that, I hear. It's not that it's bad. I'm just disappointed. So
yes.
You put on a real parental voice.
Well, I've been one of those for over half my life.
Understood. But just put on a real parental voice of it's not you.
I expected more from you.
I'm not mad at you. I'm just disappointed.
Hang your head in shame. All right, Mike, what are your biggest gaming disappointments? Gaming related disappointments?
I put 12 minutes also, but I was hyped for it. When I saw that was it E3 or whatever
that trailer? Yeah,
it was oh, this looks intriguing. This looks like something I definitely I was literally looking forward to it, and I played it the day it came out on my PC. I downloaded,
and you loved it.
And I immediately was well, this isn't what I thought it was going to be, and I'll get back to it later, tomorrow or something. And then I started listening to what everybody had to say, and I was I don't need to play this game at all. And I never did anymore.
I want to spoil.
I don't care. I'm not going to go play that game now. I mean, granted, maybe listeners don't want to have it spoiled, but I literally was. I could, but everybody who says, "Well, I looked up what it was and it was terrible," I'm well, then I don't even want to know that. I don't care. Not actively. I don't want to. I'm not seeking it out.
There are just the choices they made. When they kept saying this is the story we need to tell, and it's what? Why is this the story you needed to tell that ended that? Whatever.
I don't think whatever, but I was hyped in the sense of it seemed like an interesting indie game, not I've been anticipating it since I was 12 years old and my hopes and dreams were crushed.
Well, yeah.
I didn't have a word to fill in with the coughing, but I'm alluding to something else.
Gotcha. I just. Oh, God.
But I mean, there's probably other things. I don't know. It's the thing that came to mind.
Yes,
first.
that is the game. Well, On Rails is probably a strong statement to say. Like, it's the game where James McAvoy, Daisy Ridley, and Willem Dafoe are the voice actors. You are playing from a top-down view, and you are playing as the husband, and you have to figure out a way to break a time loop.
Oh, it loops. Oh, boy.
But, like, you make some of the worst decisions a human can make. Like,
that is true.
At one point, you drug someone.
So you drug someone several times.
They can be bait for you to catch someone else, and then there's the real twist at the end, and it's like, why would you whatever? Yeah. Anyway, I can't. Oh, that was my disappointment as well. Like, I had Grand Theft Auto the definitive edition on there because
that was a disappointment.
I bought those games. I bought those games unseen. I bought them for my Switch, thinking Rockstar is probably not going to treat their legacy like garbage.
Why would they?
They've done this, like, when they released Bully on Switch and Xbox 360. They did a competent, like, they might not be the greatest versions, but they were fun. You could play them. They had extra content. That was a long time ago.
But
I'm an old man, so I remember those things. But like, I bought the Switch versions, like I said, sight unseen, and that was like, they're not good. Like, I should just play the phone versions. They are better versions of that game, which is incredibly disappointing for games that were like, the first Grand Theft Auto 3 came out my freshman year of college. And, like, it was revolutionary. Like, it is what changed open world, like, 3D open world games started with Grand Theft Auto. Like, you could talk about Shenmue and stuff before that, but, like, Grand Theft Auto 3 is what made that game popular, like, that genre popular. It was, and, like, for them to just kind of, like, 3 is probably the best of the 3 in that collection, but that's not saying much.
Oh, you mean, like, what turned out the best?
Quality-wise is the best of the 3.
Because that's the one that needed the most improvements from a gameplay perspective.
But it was also the simplest. Like, think about the systems that are working inside San Andreas and whatnot.
It's too many.
A lot more.
Like, it's the size of the space. Like, remember, in Grand Theft Auto 3, you can't get to another island. Like, you're not supposed to be able to get to another island for, like, the first third of that game or whatever. I had that as my disappointment. But then talking with my girlfriend, the rant I went on about 12 minutes. Like, that should be my disappointment because, like, just like, I think about E3 and the guy's like, "This is a story I need to tell." I don't understand why that's a story he needed to tell.
I don't get that either. But so I guess it was cathartic for one.
Right. Anyway. But yes, I there are reasons not to like Grand Theft Auto. There are a lot of, like, you might like the structure or how they had dressed up. Like, because again, it's like, it's how British people think the U.S. is. But like, just the impact it had. Like, I mean, again, much like we called things Doom clones, we called things GTA clones for a while, like open world games.
For many years, that was certainly a thing.
So, but in the meantime, I have finished putting together your list.
I appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
If you would like to, introducing Indifferences 2021 Game of the Year.
All right, let's go to
number 10.
Number 10. Thank you for putting this together, like, on the fly. I really appreciate that. I was not able to do so. And ironically, my number 10 is 12 minutes. I definitely understand the complaints. I know exactly why you guys had it on your disappointing, biggest disappointment. And this game frustrated me, like, incredibly, but I could not stop playing it.
I
couldn't.
Like,
I never
that's the
actually
same thing.
finished it either, but I know everything
Oh,
that happens. I just couldn't
I
get that
finished-
last loop to work.
I finished it, but I also went through 7 of the options. Like if you go and look at the achievements on my thing, you can see the 7 different endings that I got, or whatever, including the one where you just don't touch the controller for 12
Disappointed in
minutes.
this selection. James is disappointed in our selection. In my
He's
selection.
disappointed in your selection.
In my
Let's
selection.
get this
That's the
very
thing.
correct.
This game has a bunch of having to tell this story is what?
If the game didn't tell that story, I would not have the emotional reaction. Like,
yeah, but I feel like
the mechanics are there.
But like, if the story was something that was ho hum, then it would have.
No, there is one part you need to change. Like, I'm not okay. Like, obviously, I am never going to drug someone to lure someone else into a room or whatever. But making that a game mechanic is kind of disgusting.
Yeah.
But the last twist is
it's a doozy.
I want like.
That's the thing. I started playing it and I just got invested in it, and I got really frustrated that I could not actually complete it because
I think people need to see it, but
Yeah.
like, it's just it is so out of left field.
But I feel like it was an interest. Like, I enjoyed playing it, even with the frustration. I was still
again. I think the game itself, it is 100% the story I have a problem with.
It's
When
the
you
narrative.
find out
I got it. Yeah.
that people are related.
Okay. You don't spoil it. But yes.
Like,
it got a little. Yeah. Okay. We can go on number 9. We're good. Number 9.
This was a number 9. This was a really good game. I enjoyed it.
Yes. So UnMetal is my number 9. This was a game where the designer and writer were just having some fun with it. Let's take the original Metal Gear, not Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear, and just make it.
When somebody says, "I feel asleep."
Yes. Let's take that game and just make it like silly and funny and like a Naked Gun-esque sort of like spoof in many ways. There's some parts of the writing I'm just like, I wouldn't have done that, but I enjoyed the game. It was a lot of fun. So I don't know. And it's
from the people that made like UnEpic and
yeah.
Didn't they make another game? I forgot.
I can't think of the other thing they made, but other than UnEpic. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was goofy. Not obviously not nearly as difficult as the original Metal Gear, because that was wow. Oh, James said Tropic Thunder version of a video game. There
are parts.
Yes. Yeah.
Like I could definitely see the parallel.
It was funny, so I enjoyed that. All right, let's go over to number 8.
I'm surprised this is on here.
I had a lot. Okay. Full disclosure. Tiny, like, you have to play It Takes Two. It Takes Two is my number 8. People listening, It Takes Two. You have to play this either couch co-op or online with someone. You cannot play by yourself. So Tiny and I played this a week ago, maybe.
Yeah, like last Thursday. Yeah, so a week ago.
So I don't know. I thought it would.
Oh, it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
We didn't pay attention to much of the story, so at points we'd get stuck and be like, they probably told us what to do here, but we don't know. But like, it was fun figuring it out, and like,
most definitely.
Yeah, I look forward to playing it more.
Yeah, I want to finish it up. It's fun. It's about a young girl. Her parents having issues. They tell her, "Hey, we're going to be getting divorced," and she has these 2 little like dolls that represent her parents, like these little craft made dolls, and she cries on them, and then her tears, like, did it turn them into the parents? Is that what?
It's like because you see their bodies, so like their consciousnesses got moved into the dolls, because you see their bodies still in the real world.
Yes, you do. That is right.
So
it's obviously, like, if you think about something like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, they're going around the house like fighting an old vacuum cleaner, but like the way the house is set up and everything, it doesn't look anything like a real house would look. It looks like a 3D platformer, like, it's
right.
But it's
interesting
fun.
that each character has their own moves and dynamics. So you have to work together. It's not someone can do all of the pieces. And even like that vacuum fight, which is the first boss fight, so I don't think it's spoiling much. But like, you have to work together to suck up and then throw the stuff back at it.
Yep.
And one person has to be managing getting the ammo essentially, and the other person aiming the ammo.
Or like during one section, you had the top part, like the actual, like the top half of a hammer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then I had I could throw nails and like somehow retract them to me. I don't know how, but and
Magic.
Oh, I really enjoyed it, and I kept saying like it controls so well, and I'm thinking, why aren't there more like 3D platformers that you play online? Like it worked really well. Like do more of this.
Yeah. Like, and they have so many moves, and I'm like, why would you need this spin move or whatever in this game? But like how they animated and made you be able to jump around and whatnot just was really impressive.
Yeah.
So
enough to get on my top 10 or whatever. It was fun. So
number 7.
Number 7 is The Gunk. So
Never heard of it.
Yeah. I'm going to echo a lot of what Mike already said. I don't know. Like he said, like the checkpointing is really friendly. You don't have to really be good. I don't know. Like I just liked exploring. Like you can, it's sort of relaxing. You know, you suck up all the gunk, but then you one of the things I like is doing the scanning. Like you have a scanning thing on your arm, and you can scan all these different plants, and then build upgrades and stuff. I don't know. I found it a very relaxing, very fun game. It's
the one thing I find sort of strange is the game is called The Gunk, and sure, the gunk is sort of an important part of the story of what it is, but it's such a small part of like what you're doing. It's just every once in a while you'll come up to a place and there's a bunch of gunk. Gotta get rid of it right away, so it's gone, and then it's gone, and then you can continue playing the game.
But like, is it the reason you're on the planet or whatever, or why you crack?
No,
not really.
It's stuff in the way for why you're on the planet. Kind of.
Yeah. Okay. Have you climbed that like big tree like thing that's like full of gunk yet? Have you done that already?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that was the first time where I was like, wow, there really is a lot of this crap.
There's a lot of gunk. Yeah.
And it just sort of disappears. You suck it into your arm, and it's like, where did it go? I don't know.
I always wonder, like, where is it going?
I'm like envisioning the containment unit in Ghostbusters.
Yeah. All right. Scootmoo says the gunk was disappointing narratively. I don't pay much attention to the narrative. I'll be honest.
I can see how you might think so, but like I've gotten to the point in the story where it's like, oh, there's something a little bit more dramatic going on here than I really anticipated in the beginning. So, okay. I mean, maybe that could change your mind if you get that far.
Well, James
or if you finished it and you don't care, then it is what it is.
James asks, is it a trash/plastic commentary? I guess if the last boss is a big turtle with a straw in its nose, then we'll know.
You cut up those soda things?
Oh, yeah, the 6-pack thing. That's one of those. I don't know. It could be. We'll see what happens. So, anyway, that's the gunk, number 7. Number 6.
Number 6.
How can I say this? Masupilami Hoobaventure? I don't know.
I was hoping I found the right picture. So
that's it. That is it. It's some cartoon I know nothing about, or it's something that I don't know nothing about here. I'm sorry. Just go back to the gunk. Scootmoo says he finished it. There was no story payoff. Like it's meant to be episodic. Oh, maybe.
Interesting.
So we'll see what happens.
Yep.
It's on Game Pass, so bring it on.
Okay.
All right.
So number 6.
Masupilami Hoobaventure. So you're these.
Marsupials?
I guess they're marsupials, but I don't see any pouches or anything, so I don't know what that means. It's a 2.5D platformer. You know how much I like my mindless platformers. You jump around and collect stuff. The thing about it is, it controls really well. It's very colorful. I'm a simple man.
So is it Lost Vikings? Because I see it says the 3 marsupial punch, twister, and hop.
No, and I didn't even realize you could switch between them until like I'm like halfway through the game. Like, oh, I can hit the button and choose the other ones. They all play the same. I feel like
this is a TV series in Belgium from 1993.
The people love
Produced by Walt Disney.
Yeah, it's
Television,
something I never heard
he was
of.
dead by then.
I got an email about it. It was like, hey, yeah, send me a code. And I was like, this is a lot of fun. I was like, this is great. So I don't know. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm enjoying it. I like my platformers. So
the visuals remind me a little bit of Rayman.
I can see that.
Like the colorful, like the
it's very colorful. And the boss battle, like you fight the same like skeleton ghost thing, and it's really like you kind of chase him through the stage, but the platforming gets like kind of serious, but I don't know, it really controls well. So all right, number five. Kena Bridge of Spirits. And we talked about before, I think we were either before our mics were on or we were actually on live, that this game definitely feels like a PlayStation 2 game. I don't mean that in a pejorative way.
No,
I mean,
like it's like but it's like a prettier PlayStation 2 game.
Yes.
And that's fine. Like PlayStation had some great platformers.
It does.
Action adventure platformers kind of thing.
And you like the little like blue, black blob thingies. I forgot what they're called. Coal
spirits.
or ash or
remember,
what are they called? I should know. But
I just started playing this.
It's a fun game. So. It is really fun. You get a lot of you do a lot of upgrades. So what you start off with will be very different than what you end up with. And the bosses get real. Like it just it'll be like, oh, this isn't too bad, and the bosses come and it's a real challenge. So I dig. There's a story about helping people who are dead in your world and things like that, and I don't know, it's a pretty good game.
Gotcha. Okay.
So highly recommend.
I picked it up for relatively cheap on the PS5, so I'm playing through that right now.
Yeah, it's only on PS4 or 5, and then on Steam, or is it on the Windows
on
Store?
PC.
So. Yeah, Kena Bridge of Spirits. Number 4. Psychonauts 2.
I'm pretty sure I got this right.
So I have not finished it. I'm going to, but I love the writing in this game. Like it is just an attention to detail. Like there's so many little things in the background that you're like, oh, wait a minute. And like little references, and it's thorough. They really thought everything through putting this game together. So the only thing I don't like is I wish the map did a better job of showing you where you were in relation to where you need to be. But
that's fair.
Outside of that, it's a fantastic game.
I mean, I think the other thing that probably might deter some people is that this follows up directly from Rhombus of Ruin. So if you have not played that,
I did play Rhombus of Ruin, and the irony is that I've played Rhombus of Ruin to completion, but never completed the original Psychonauts. Go figure.
I definitely completed the original Psychonauts.
So.
Okay.
Something I need to do. All right, number 3. I believe it's Kaze, or I'm not sure if it's Kaze or Kaze.
Okay.
Once again, I love my platformers. This is a really good 2D platformer, and at the end of level, like kind of halfway through a lot of levels, you'll find a mask that will give you like entirely different powers, make you fly, that like turn you into some kind of aquatic creature. Yeah, it's kind of thing where like you collect 3 of these every stage and unlock 2 different bonus levels, and it's really well done. It controls really well, really good pixel art. I love platformers. It's just like my go-to. Like I would turn on my Xbox and playing this game. But let's go. Yeah. If you see it on sale or not on sale, and you like Donkey Kong Country, things like that, pick this game up. And like I said, the variety is there. I mean, you're the rabbit character most of the time, but you do get a mask. I think every stage or every other stage that just changes the gameplay up entirely. Let's do something different. And there's good boss battles too.
Do you see where my mouse is?
Yes.
Is that, I assume, the character's tail?
No, that's the other ear kind of folding down.
Well, wait, then what is this?
Oh, no, that's the ear. That's the same left ear curling behind the head.
Okay, so, because I thought this was the end, like, was there a smoke power that the character has? Or?
I haven't finished it yet, so there could be.
I don't know.
So.
Okay, number 2.
Halo Infinite. I have just scratched the surface on the campaign, but it starts off really, really well, and the multiplayer is great. So, but I do get the complaints about allowing you to decide whether or not you want to play on PC, play with console, and vice versa, because there are sometimes I'm like, why am I getting headshot like from that distance? So
what about the multiplayer is drawing you to play it so regularly, so often?
I have not played. I feel like I've not really played a whole lot of Halo multiplayer in a long time. And I don't know, it's just scratching that itch. Like, I didn't know how much I missed it. It's just fun. It's making me feel like it's like Halo 2 or 3 again. I don't know. I should have a better answer for you.
I'm asking because I'm at a loss. I'm genuinely surprised that so many people are raving about the multiplayer, because every time I play it, I go, "There's nothing here." I don't understand why people are excited about this. This feels like it's still in beta.
There's nothing here.
Like, do you want to choose what kind of a game you're going to play? No, you can't do that. Not unless you want to play SWAT, which now we're calling Tactical Slayer, or just, free for all or whatever. Because if you want to play any specific game type at all, you just have to hope it comes up in the random thing.
That was really bad at launch, but then they added the types that I wanted, right? So I'm fine.
I've never seen it, and I played as recently as last week. I don't like, every time I open it up, I'm like, okay, nope, there's nothing different here.
Okay, well, if you're looking for like oddball and stuff like that, I guess you're not going to find that.
Yeah, it's like if you want to play, like, look at Master Chief Collection. It's like anything under the sun, Well,
right, but
there's so many options. It's out of this world.
They're not giving Master Chief Collection away for free. Like,
well,
yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are.
Well, okay.
In a way.
No, you pay for Game Pass. Like,
yeah,
same for this.
No, Halo multiplayer is free for everyone.
Oh, the multiplayer. Yeah. Okay.
It is right. like I think James said in the thing. It's like Fortnite. Like, again, this has a different.
But Fortnite it's battle royale.
There is 100% going to be a battle royale in Halo multiplayer,
and that's fine. But
like, they're not gonna, like, again, they don't want to split their audience because across a bunch of different modes, because that's not how you get people to pay money for seeing the cool skins. And
like, I feel like there are so few maps, there's so few game types that you have any control over. All of the new weapons I hate.
All of them,
which is
they're
funny
all
because
terrible.
I just heard, like, one of the. Like, the handheld shotgun apparently is a gun that, like, serious players are saying, like, hey, you should get rid of, but, like, a lot of players really like it.
I just, like, if it's not a human weapon from, like, previous Halo games, I don't want it.
I like the alien weapons. Not all of them, but I like a lot of them, though.
Like the battle rifle, the pistol. Like, I think they're fine. They're good. But like, there's like so many new terrible guns that I'm like, I don't even like. And so I did the tutorial. I tried them out in the ranges and everything. Like, yeah, they all still suck. I don't understand what the appeal for any of this is, which sucks because I was really looking forward to Halo. That's why it wasn't on my list. That's why I'm like I don't even want to play the campaign because I'm not seeing anything that's drawing me.
I think you like the campaign. That grappling hook is.
Yeah, I hope so.
I cannot tell you how awesome. Like, I cannot put in words.
The grappling hook I've seen like 3 times in the entire time I've played multiplayer, and I've put a good amount of time into it. It's like, okay, the best part of the game we're almost never going to let you use. Almost never.
Well, you use it all the time in the single player.
You do.
So.
Woman me out.
I'm sorry, man.
Go ahead. What?
Hopefully they'll update it and you'll like it.
Yeah, the one time I had the grappling hook in a big team and I was able to, like, whether it was a Banshee or a guy, I don't remember what it was, but I was like, yeah, that was fun. And I never get to do it again.
It's one and done.
Aaron's number 1 game for 2021.
All right, our Resident Evil Village. When I first saw the trailer for this game, I mean, intentionally they had stuff in there that sort of gave you like, ooh, RE4. Don't like it as much as RE4? No. But I played a lot of this game. I did complete it. And it's funny, Tiny, I only used Cheat Engine when I got to Heisenberg's thing. Because I didn't want to deal without the little glowy. I hated those things.
Was he trying to sell you some blue meth?
Oh, he is one of the bosses.
Yeah, I don't know why they named him Heisenberg.
I mean, because like the whole uncertainty principle, like his whole character is based on that idea. Like, oh, we're across the multiverse. Anyway,
yeah. No, I enjoy it. I really like the game. It's not perfect. I mean, nothing is perfect, but it does have some issues. Like we talked about narratively, when you walk into somebody's house and shoot their wife, or who the person thinks is their wife, maybe explain, hey, that wasn't your wife. But,
right, like any kind of contact, like anything. And also the werewolves being here, like they explained it away as bioweapons or whatnot, but like
that was weird.
Like, okay, and they're cool. Like, I think they're a cool addition, but it's like, cool. Just stop trying. Like, there are vampires now. Like, just it's cool.
James asked favorite board games. That's going to be another show. So that's coming. That's going to be another show. But yeah, Village was a lot of fun. I remember I was watching the completionist review of it, and he brought up some good points about how interesting Lady Dimitrescu's level was, and how really interesting Donna Beneviento's level was, and then the other ones are just kind of stuff thrown at you. So I feel like I had the same issue 7 had, where 7 was better in the house, and then once you left it was kind of like, what? So. Why did you make these decisions?
They front loaded a lot of it.
They really did.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that you fight, like you go to, Castle Dimitrescu first, essentially. You get her out of the way first, but she was the most interesting character. So, although Moreau was interesting, but tough to look at. But
like the new merchant was also a fun. Like, what's going on with this guy?
The Duke. The Duke was interesting.
Yeah.
So it did not, initially I expected, I was thinking like it would be more of a RE4 kind of vibe, which it wasn't, that's okay. I still liked it. It was a lot of fun. It did some
You didn't
things.
have to tell any little girls to jump in the trash?
No, not this game.
Leon!
But in the inevitable RE4 remake, I'm pretty sure you're going to have to do that. So it will be coming.
Gotcha.
Oh, it was fun. I liked it. Did they cancel that multiplayer thing?
I was trying to remember. Was the multiplayer tied to this or Resident Evil 3?
Oh, it was tied to
the
this.
Remake. No, I think it's still out there. Like, I think I still have it installed. But that multiplayer was useless.
It looks pretty bad.
So
I'm hoping for some more like single player content because they added a lot of stuff to RE7.
It did.
So I'm hoping they do the same here. So we shall see.
Okay. And
all
that's
right.
That's your top 10.
That is my top 10.
We'll go through some categories real quick. Michael, I know you didn't think about these, but if you do have,
he just stepped away for a second. So
okay. So I'm going to start with favorite old game. So game released before January 1st, 2021. And you reminded me, I did play through Resident Evil 4 this year and finish it.
It's about time.
So, but that is not going to be my favorite game of this year. My favorite game of this year isn't actually that old, but I significantly completed Far Cry 5 and all of its like DLC attached to it.
I don't understand why people play Far Cry still. I just never.
I mean, this one,
I don't get it.
It's interesting because this is the one that leads into New Dawn with like the nuclear stuff. Like, so there were a lot of, and like, I mean, it's also interesting. It takes place in a country that I have a lot of experience in, as compared to random tropical island in 3 or someplace in the Himalayas in 4. So It was interesting. Like, it was fun to put together, and like part of it was because we were in lockdown and whatnot. It was like, yo, this is a grind. I can focus on this and do all of this stuff very easily, and not like put a lot of thought power behind it. So,
okay.
But what about you? What was your favorite old game of this year?
I'm not even. I think it came out last year. I mean, well, 2020 was. I played a lot of New Super Lucky's Tale.
Okay.
I had played the crap out of that game on. What did I play it on?
Xbox.
Was it Xbox? Or was it PC? I don't know. I played it, and then I knew it was out on. No, I bought it again on the Switch because it was like $350 at Walmart.
Okay.
And I still say Microsoft needs to purchase that developer and have them crank out some 3D platformers, because like they get it. They get it. That game is just my go-to. Like I don't know. I find it so relaxing to play that game. Just collect the letters of your name, collect all the little coins. It's just a lot of fun. I really like that game.
Very cool. Okay. Let's go with games from 2021. I wish I played more.
I have two listed. Little Nightmares 2. I hadn't played it at all. I want to. And Boomerang X. Looked like a lot of fun.
Brad Shoemaker was really going for Boomerang X. This is the one that has like the weird mechanic where you throw the boomerang and you could teleport to it, I think, or something.
I think that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
So, like that seems. I mean, it seems real cool.
It's pretty fun.
The two I have listed, the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. This is a combination of the two Great Ace Attorney games that came out in Japan, released on Switch this year. I'm about halfway through, I think, the second or third case in the first set or whatever. It's great. Like, I mean, it's a visual novel. It follows like the Phoenix Wright kind of idea or whatnot, and it's set in like turn of the century Japan, turn of the 19th century, and I enjoy doing the investigating, and like they have a character that gets introduced called Sherlock Holmes or Herlock Sholmes, who is a moron at points, but like he's a fun character to play with. So I look forward to playing more of that on my Switch. The other game for me is Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. I played probably the first 3 hours of that game, 4 hours. And then I was like, I put it down thinking I was good, but like I keep hearing stuff about Adam Warlock and other pieces. When Mantis gets included in that crew and whatnot, and it just makes me want to go back and play more of that game. It's a Mass Effect-like kind of game.
It is. It does have that kind of thing. I'm going to keep playing it. I know it was on my disappointed thing, but I'm going to stick with it.
And like I understand what you're saying. They're not the movie characters and whatnot, but like I feel like this is different enough. And the big thing is they learned from Avengers. They have to make it distinct enough to not be related to the movies, because I think a part of the reason that the Avengers game kind of stunk was because people expected them to all look like the movies, and you're still fighting on Earth, and like there are a lot of parallels that like people that are interested in that would only have seen that part. So I'll also mention like Kena Bridge of Spirits. I'm just getting into. I hope to play more. And I will mention one racing game real quick. Hot Wheels Unleashed is a game that I don't think enough people played, and it is stupid fun. Like, it's a relatively simple racing game, but you unlock new Hot Wheels, and you can play as like the Mystery Machine or the Batmobile or like the crazy Hot Wheels that like had like 4 spoilers and a bunch of
spoiler
like a bunch of stuff. That, you know what, Scoop Moose has a very good point. Also, like playing as the Hulk in that Avengers game, he was not he had to dodge things. That's not the Hulk. That's not how this works. But Hot Wheels, like I'm hoping it'll go on discount and whatnot, and more people play it.
I hope it comes to Game Pass.
If it comes to Game Pass, that'd be great. Like, and I'm not saying it's the most complex.
Doesn't need to be.
All the maps are like the favorite type of map I had for Quake 3, where it's like, oh, everyone's tiny and you're in a room or whatever. Kind of like It Takes Two. Like, it's a different perspective, and like they're all built on the like Hot Wheel track, like the orange tracks and whatnot. Like, yeah. Anyway, I think Hot Wheels Unleashed was a game that unfortunately just kind of got buried.
Many do. There's a lot of them.
So, Mike, did you have any games from a game from 2021 you wish you had played more?
Well, I mean, the played more thing, I put Halo Infinite, but I mean, I still assume I'm going to play the campaign, regardless of what I was saying earlier. But also, I do really want to get around to playing Cotton Reboot, which I haven't fired up yet, but
I have that.
You know, I've got it, and it's like sitting there waiting. But along with lots and lots and lots of other games that are just sitting waiting.
Hey, do you remember for like 5 minutes this year, a lot of people were really excited about Quake when that Quake?
No, I don't remember that.
Well, like Quake got updated to. It also came to the next gen consoles.
Yes,
and for like a week, people were playing Quake.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And it was great, and then everyone stopped playing Quake again.
Yeah, I mean, I literally forgot until you described how it came to consoles. I was like, consoles, right.
The Steam executable got updated for the 4K displays and whatnot.
I'm playing it right now.
I mean, I've never played through Quake. I've only ever played the first level.
Remember those 4.5 minutes? Yeah, pretty much.
Don't play with my heart that way.
I mean, it was the deal. Like, I had a 486. They released like some early code and ran, and then when the game came out, it was just like, oh, you need a Pentium.
Right.
Like, well, I don't have one of those.
Well, I don't know. Then you don't have Quake.
And that was it. And then later on, I eventually got Quake 2, but I really didn't play that much. And
Quake 2 is so different from... Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, Quake 2 and 4 are their own separate thing.
The development history around Quakes are super interesting.
And Quake Wars.
There are books about it. Anyway, yeah, you should...
Is there a Quake 3 RPG campaign at all?
No, it's all just multiplayer. It's bot multiplayer.
So Quake 1 is by itself, and then 2 and 4 are in their own separate universe, and then 3 is not even a thing.
4 was an Xbox launch game.
Was a launch? Yeah.
360 launch game.
Quake was supposed to be an RPG because it was based off their D&D campaign. But once they got 18 months in, they realized, like, hey, we make first-person shooters very well, and like we've got the code working, but it's not. So they switched it to a shooting game, and just took all the assets, all the knights, and that's why it's a lot of like medieval architecture and whatnot for that. And then like Quake 2 is even more of a cluster for the development, and that's when John Romero left between 1 and 2, because like originally Daikatana was supposed to come out on a modified Quake engine, and then they released Quake 2, and he's like, oh, I love the colored lights, but Quake 2's engine works completely differently than Quake 1. Anyway, yeah. They're very good stories. But anyway, I should have done like best video game book of the year.
Next year.
I have so many of them.
Guaranteed thing that I would not fill out.
I would be the only one filling them out. I understand this.
Yeah.
Last one is most anticipated game of 2022. So
I have 4.
I cheated, and I also have 4. So we're going to start with Mike. Are there any games you're looking forward to?
I put down Saints Row, just because I enjoyed the previous Saints Row's games. But I mean, you know, if it comes out and it's great, awesome. If it comes out and it stinks, whatever. If it doesn't ever come out, I will not lose any sleep. So, I mean, that's the closest thing to something that I can think of from the top of my head.
Okay. Aaron, what do you have for your...
I have TMNT Shredder's Revenge.
Oh, that's a good one. I didn't even think of that one.
Oxenfree 2. And Night Dive? The studio got bought out by Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Night School?
Night School Games.
Night School Games. So Oxenfree 2. Games. Metal Slug Tactics.
Oh, okay. I put that on my Steam wish list.
And lastly, Kirby and the Forgotten Lands. Kirby has a gun, y'all. It has been a 3D Kirby in a long time. So ever since.
Why does he need a gun?
Well, he's had one before.
Is it like actually
Really?
3D or is it 3D on a 2D plane?
It might be
isn't
like
that Kirby All Stars
64 kind of.
that came out on Switch.
The Wii, yeah.
Well,
But,
no, I thought I have a Kirby game on Switch, like that is a 2D platformer, but it's in like the characters are 3D.
Oh, I don't know. I thought it was 3D. I thought it was 3D.
Okay,
but I don't know. It looks pretty good because it looks like something I haven't seen Kirby in a while. So those are my 4 and 1. How about you?
Okay, God of War Ragnarok, because I mean last year I played through God of War 2017.
Yeah, I have still haven't done
enjoyed the heck out of that game. So
it's too long.
Also,
Get to the point.
another game I played through during the pandemic, Horizon Forbidden West is the sequel, Horizon Zero Dawn, the original one. Man, I want those games. And now they announced that VR game as part of PSVR 2. I'm probably there for that. Starfield, I am hopeful. I know Bethesda says that's going to come out this year. In the year
they said that
2022, they said they have a date. It's like November 11th or something.
No, that's not going to happen.
Probably not.
They also
said it's a new engine, so we'll see what happens. But like, I enjoy Bethesda RPGs as even though the jank.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it as well.
And like being in space. Oh man! And like, ooh, I can't wait. And then,
is that Starfield campaign thing even in the works anymore? Speaking of similar things, yeah, it was called like something 51, I think.
Oh well, are you talking about Hangar 51 or whatever was working on? What's the one with the $500,000 Kickstarter?
It's supposedly they hired Mark Hamill and Gary Oldman.
Yeah, that's still going. Oh God,
that was like 9 years ago.
In that. Oh God.
What did I say? Oh, Star Citizen.
Star Citizen.
Did I say Starfield?
You did. But Star Citizen, yes, it's still under development.
But yeah, it was like because it's like Star Citizen, like the main game, and then this thing that actually interests me. That's for normal people that don't want to spend $10,000 on trash.
I bought a ship in Star Citizen.
Well, you didn't spend $10,000.
Star Citizen NFTs already, or am I too late?
I mean, let's be completely honest. Those ships were the prototype NFT. Like, you have to buy insurance for your ship because it can be destroyed.
The fact that they implemented all of that before there was a real game is insane. Insane that people gave them money.
Well, because I mean, the real answer was that game was originally pitched as like explore a universe. Like, hey, we'll have it. Almost was like No Man's Sky mixed with what's the other one that was an Amiga game and then came back out? The Star.
I have no idea.
Star Control.
No. But like that. Anyway, it's in my head. It's available on VR or whatever right now too. Anyway, we'll see.
Eve Valkyrie.
No, Elite Dangerous. That's what I was trying to
say. I didn't know that was an old Amiga game.
Auto Assault 2.
There is a version of Elite that was out for the Nintendo. That's magic. Like,
wow.
Talk about N64 Resident Evil 2.
I saw some YouTube video all about Elite.
What is this game called?
Elite Dangerous. Well, I mean, the new one is called Elite Dangerous. But
the NES game.
I believe it was.
It's just Elite. Yeah. It should not run on a Nintendo. So yeah.
I've never seen this box.
I don't know if it came out in North America.
Oh, okay.
It definitely came out in Europe, though.
That would be a big reason.
So then the last one I have for most anticipated comes out this month. Pokemon Legends Arceus. This is supposed to be like the big change to the Pokemon formula, but that's why it's a spin-off game.
Is this the game where they're showing ceilings of buildings you're in and people are like flipping out because there's a ceiling? I don't know. I saw something on Twitter.
I haven't seen them flipping out about ceilings, but this is the one where like the Pokemon will attack you because you're going out there and it's not just a turn base. So like you might need to throw out your whole team to fight one Pokemon. You have to craft your own Pokeballs. It's all taking place during I think the same time, like early 19th century. And and like it's open world. It's like there's a lot of pieces to it. So
it's open world.
Yes.
Okay.
So we will see how this works, because there was some open world in the last mainline Pokemon game.
It didn't work well.
In Sword and Shield, it didn't run well, and they got better with updates, but like it chugged a little when you go into the wild zones or whatever. So
now, we are due for another Switch because it's been almost 5 years.
They released the OLED Switch like this year,
like last year, but
like 2021.
Yeah, it's been 5 years.
I have no doubt when people are like, they did the OLED Switch as a stopgap, and there will be another Switch that actually has like upgraded internals, and I will buy that Switch too. So
I don't think that's going to be this year.
It's just a question of the supply chain.
Year.
Like I think it's more a question of supply chain.
Yeah.
So like that's really the thing that's restricting them. So we will see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm looking at I wrote down all the lists like I purchased or played and whatnot. I'm just going to also throw out here for no reason, but Cruising Blast was a lot of fun.
I've heard good things about that.
The cruising game.
Why do you have to hold one of the face buttons for gas?
I don't know.
That's a dumb decision in this, previous year.
The year of our Lord 2021.
Yeah, there are triggers for a reason. I don't care if they're not analog on a, whatever version of a Switch controller you're using.
Right. Ooh, see, I would say Breath of the Wild 2, but I don't feel like there's any confirmation Breath of the Wild 2 comes out this year.
Scoop's most anticipated game is the GoldenEye remaster. You can play that right now on. I haven't played it on
Don't
TV
do that.
yet. Why not?
Right, but if the true about the achievements,
it runs just fine.
There were other things. Metroid Dread was a lot of fun. I just didn't finish it. So
I haven't played
Castlevania
it.
Advance Collection was real good, but that's just the ROMs. So anyway, the other thing I'll say is, for this year, some of the biggest first-person shooters like Battlefield 2042 and Vanguard both sucked it hard. I bought both of those games, and I may have put an hour into each of them. So
yeah, I know.
I heard that Battlefield just kind of fell out of just
fell off a truck.
Basically, did a Shockmaster. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, same for Far Cry 6. I'm barely into Far Cry 6.
Yeah, I stopped playing Far Cry after 2, I think.
Oh, 3 is real good.
Wait a minute. You haven't played even a moment of any of the modern day Far Cries?
Nope.
I mean, I haven't either, but
I don't want to judge you, but I will. Okay. Hey, Quaid Rain.
I played the
I understand. Okay, I can understand that.
What was it called?
What's that?
The spin-off one with Michael Biehn.
What are you talking about?
Far Cry.
Oh, Dragon.
Blood Dragon. Yeah. That's the only modern day Far Cry I've played.
I enjoyed 3 a lot.
Quaid Rain on chat says he or she has never played a Far Cry at all. They never played it, so yeah, there you go.
Well, better off for it.
I don't know about anyway, whatever.
Oh, the less video games you play, the better you are.
Gotcha. On this video game podcast that we've been doing for 443 episodes. So.
Oh yeah. That's the secret twist at the end of this run of podcasts.
Still a better twist than 12 minutes.
There is no spoon. There are no video games.
No, there are plenty of video games,
and there are spoons.
We've spent quite a lot of time describing a lot of them.
Yeah,
not all of them. Not most of them.
I mean, that's our game of the year. Just got we will put up the list. I have PowerPoints obviously now that we'll post up on GameEnthus.com, and I'll capture the couple categories we had as well. But yeah, hey, 2021 seemed like a good year for games. It was tough to get hardware,
but we owned them all. I mean, it was. I got
I own most of them because of Ben. Not because of what I did.
No, I own them all because of my cousin. He gifted me the Series X, and then he sold me his PS5 because he wanted the all digital, which I still don't understand. But hey, it benefited me, so I'm not going to complain.
It was great. If you have a backlog of games, it's awesome. Game Pass kept proving itself as valuable. So,
Yeah. Is
so,
anybody still have to say, I don't think Game Pass is good value? Stop it.
We'll see. We'll see. I want to see what Sony's response
So
is.
do I. Because apparently they
Project
stopped
Zeus or whatever?
stores from selling PlayStation Now cards.
In Europe.
Oh, only in Europe. Okay.
The article I read was only.
The secret was they never worked in the first place.
Nobody cares.
They've been selling them for years, and no one noticed because no one ever bought one.
It didn't redeem.
The first they stopped. They put them. They pull them off the shelf because somebody finally tried to redeem one of them.
That makes sense to go all digital.
I'm all digital. Yeah, I mean, I'm mostly digital, like 95%. But every once in a while I will get when you see new Super Lucky's Tale for $3.50 at Walmart. I mean,
yeah. Oh, I would have done that if I saw it.
You gotta grab that. That's a great game.
I would have picked up all the copies of Balan Wonderworld if I saw them.
Yeah, had I seen them, I would have gotten them. I still want to play that game. As awful as I'm hearing it is, and the fact that of all the 64 different things you can control, they all have one one button.
All the buttons on the controller do the exact same thing.
So basically, Yuji Naka basically said the game was gold while he's packing up his office. It was the game's finished. He's just putting his stuff in a box.
He says, I'm bringing it back to the days of the Atari 2600. One button. That's all you need.
Not only that, but the best part, if you want the story, you have to go read the novel that came out at the same time.
Yeah.
For Balan Wonderworld, there is almost no story in the game itself. But on that note, we
new Battletoads. What?
No, that game was terrible.
It was not good. It was not good.
But on that note, I think
so
we
much
need to get out of here.
Yeah, we do.
This is the longest we've done a show for a while.
It has. Yeah, it is. Mike, and any shout outs, plugs, all that good stuff?
Oh, well, of course, I always encourage anyone who is eligible to donate blood and anyone who has pets or is looking to have pets to have them spayed or neutered professionally, of course.
Yes. Thank you to everybody who joined us on the chat and stream. We appreciate it. Your questions, comments make it a much better show. And thank you for being here. Anybody who wants to find out more about us, we do go to GameEnthus.com. You can always email us at podcast@GameEnthus.com. Send us a voicemail to 202-573-7686. And thank you, Tiny, for whipping up that presentation real fast. We'll do that for next year. That was a good idea. So
understood.
Credit goes to you.
It is a visual medium. Anyway.
It does you no good if you're listening to this, but still, it's good.
You can go to the website and see them. They'll be there.
That too.
I mean, the better part is I also probably should have made the Game of the Year form for Sunday of this week.
We're all busy.
It's been a little busy. So I'm going to finish this out. It's unlikely this show is going to come out this week, but if it does, Awesome Games Done Quick is going on. And while I love that everyone is watching us, after we're done, you should go check that out because they are raising money for the Prevent Cancer Foundation.
They're playing Village too right now.
Yeah, and they've already hit over $1 million. This is the first time they've hit it this early. They hit it yesterday on Wednesday. So, go check that out. Donate what you can. It goes to a good cause. And then, Summer Games Done Quick does Doctors Without Borders. Speaking of charities, shocking, there's already a GameEnthus team set up for Extra Life 2022. I
don't believe you.
So you can go to... right now, the only page I've set up is extra-life.org/participant/tiny 2022 because they haven't released the URLs yet. But we'll have that stuff up there. We'll talk about the hospitals we're supporting, which we support every year. We are inching ever so closer to raising $100,000 for our hospitals. I need to do a new count based off of last year's totals. But if I had to guess, we are about $87,000 to $88,000 raised by the GameEnthus team.
So hitting it this year, not out of the realm of possibility, but not the easiest thing in the world either.
I mean, hey, we will see what happens. Last year, I think, was an off year for a lot of us. So
yeah, well, I know it was for me.
Same for
in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, we were busy. We were yeah. So anyway, you can check that out. And then finally, it is my nephew's birthday today. So happy
birthday, person I've never met.
that I'm going to go drop off their Christmas presents tomorrow because apparently he's been asking his mother for a Switch, and there's been one sitting under a Christmas tree for the last 3 weeks, but because of the changes with Omicron and whatnot, they have not gotten their presents. So I'm going to run down there, throw them on their porch, and then not see them because
No, don't even stop moving the car.
I love them. But children are germ bags, and they see people, and I see 3 people on a normal week.
Oh, you got to get yourself a T-shirt cannon and load all the gifts into it. Fire it straight at the front door.
So yeah, but it is my oldest nephew's birthday, and I'm very happy. And
Make sure Maud Flanders isn't standing in the way.
There are Pokemon sheets on the way to his house. There is a Pokemon calendar wrapped up here, and he's not going to hear any of this. So.
One day he might.
And one day he might, but at that point, I'll probably have a lot more to explain.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
So I don't know, a lot of interesting choices. What do you mean you've been stabbed? Yeah, it happens.
Huh? Why are we talking about this?
Because we can't talk about it. There's... I'm not going to talk about specifics.
He said we can't talk about it. It begins to tell the story.
It has to do with Spider-Man. Like, there's a point in Spider-Man where someone gets stabbed. And I'm like, Tina looks at me, like, shocked. And I'm like, what? We've all been stabbed before. It's okay.
No, we have. Anyway, yeah. Not all of us.
Anyway, let's get out of here.
All right.
So.
Hopefully we'll be back next week. Prayerfully we'll be back. So.
Definitely.
Right.
How many years have we been doing Extra Life? This will be my no, because 12th is just for the GameEnthus account. 14th year?
Okay, I put
okay,
11 to 13. So
yeah,
I was close.
My number is one less than what your GameEnthus account says.
Right.
Yeah, so last year was 11. This would be 12 for me.
I'm 12 on there, and I think I did 2 on my personal email.
I think I had hair back when I first started doing it, but that's a whole nother.
Oh?
Yeah, we've been doing it for a while. So.
Yes, we have.
And yeah, Quaid, the runs for I love the Super Mario Galaxy race. That was a lot of fun to watch. There was a Pokemon race that was awesome, and Keep Talking No One Explodes is just I don't even understand how it's the same idea as how you speed run Rocket League, but they did it.
What?
So
that's not a thing.
They're 100% is not
thing.
only a community. Like, I watched part of it and said, like, I'm just not that interested because it's Rocket League.
I mean, are you saying can you finish a game without stopping the clock?
No, it was some kind of, I guess, like the practice stuff or the.
Oh, okay.
Are there challenges maybe? Like, at one
okay,
point
I mean that makes
through
sense because
space.
that's like a thing you're doing.
Right,
Because if
like-
you said I speed run this football game, like, are you saying that you just stood there and no one tackled you for 60 minutes?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Because that's literally how you
That's
speed run an
exactly what I'm
NFL game.
Oh. Anyway, let's get out of
No
here.
commercials.
Everyone have a good night. GameEnthus might be back next week.
Yeah, hopefully we will be.
So
Peace.
peace.
Good night.